How's it going, folks? Welcome to another fun at-home table read. Tonight, we're jumping into one of my favorite anthology movies, Four Rooms by a multitude of directors. This is a Miramax film, so we all know what happened to Miramax lately. But I'm very excited to get into this one. I've always had a soft spot for this movie. So let's just jump right in. Let's introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Mary. I'll be doing action description.
I'm Logan. I'm going to be Ted the bellhop.
Hi, I'm Anne, and I'm going to be Betty.
Hello, I'm George, and I'll be Sigfried.
I'm Angie, and I'll be Angela.
I'm Matt. I'm going to be playing Man.
I'm Erik. I'll be Mr. Tarantino.
I'm Travis, and I'm playing Norman.
Travis weirdly sounded terrified with that, even though he said the name right, which is weird. But Mary, take us away.
Four Rooms by Allison Anders, Alexander Rockwell, Robert Rodriguez, and Quentin Tarantino. Fade up on a wall. The camera pans down a weathered wall covered with postcards from Miami Beach, Florida, and Copacabana, New York City. Wish you were here from Niagara Falls. Rickshaws and babes on beaches, etc. The camera comes to rest on an old photograph of a 1930s hotel, the Monsignor, in its heyday with a full staff of 30 people posed on the lawn in front. An old guy with a staccato voice delivers a monologue.
There used to be a staff of 50 in this place. The only one left from those days. It all comes down to one sap, the night shift bellhop. That's me. What the hell is a bellhop? You know where the name comes from? Of course not. It's so simple, it's stupid. They ring the bell, you hop. You hop to front and center. No heroes in this line, kid. Just men doing a job. No questions asked, none answered. Try to keep it simple, kid. Not too personal.
Another voice of a young man interrupts.
You met any of those old stars?
Stars? Are you kidding me? I look Rin Tin Tin out of a shit, for Christ's sake. I taught Shirley Temple how to roller skate. I saw Fatty Arbuckle regurgitate 3 cheese sandwiches right in the spot you're sitting, kid. What did you say his name was?
Ted.
Ted, right. I remember Marilyn. Used to come down at night and doze off in the kitchen. She liked the sound of fans out back spinning around. Sure, these were stars, kid. Errol Flynn, they used to call me Alibi. You'll pick up a few stories yourself, kid.
I don't think so. Not like yours.
What do you think a star does when he goes to the bathroom, kid?
Beats me.
He pulls his pants down and takes a crap just like you and I. Stay away from night clerks, kids, hookers, marital disputes.
The old guy pauses for a second and looks Ted dead in the eye.
Never have sex with the clientele.
No way. Not me. You got any other advice?
Always get a tip.
The door slams shut on the back room. Interior hotel, lobby, twilight. The big empty lobby of the Monsignor. You can tell that at one point this used to be a swank place. It still is, kinda. It's also kinda decrepit. The concierge, a snappy, fast-talking, red-haired young woman in a blue blazer named Betty, stands behind the reception desk. The old man, suitcase in hand, makes a beeline through the lobby, heading towards the front door. Betty sees him.
Hey, Sam, wait a minute.
The old guy stops in his tracks and turns around.
What?
Betty comes from behind the desk.
I just want to say goodbye.
Who are you?
Betty, the concierge, your boss.
The old guy squints his eyes at the young gal.
Oh, yeah. Got a light, sister? Goddamn cigar went out.
Yeah, sure.
She speaks to the old guy as she lights his cigar and he puffs away.
Listen, I just want you to know from the owner and the staff that your 50 years of service have been an inspiration to us all. You are a legend in your own time, and the Monsignor will never be the...
Just forward my cigars, Red. Auf Wiedersehen.
Betty is left standing in the lobby. Ted appears behind her in his bell body uniform, sans cap.
Sam the bellboy. Now, there was a man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hi, Teddy. Ready to start the night shift?
Yeah.
Well, let me buy you a drink.
Gonna buy me a drink? I'm starting my shift.
You're not an alcoholic, are you? One drink won't kill you.
Yeah, sure.
They walk out of frame. In the empty frame, we Super New Year's Eve, 7 p.m. Interior back room night. Betty and Ted sit in the back room with drinks in their hand. This dialogue is to be delivered rapid fire, Howard Hawkins style.
After 50 years, Sam retires and you're taking over the night shift.
Correct.
You're filling in some mighty big shoes.
Oh, I know.
Sam was a legend in the hotel business.
I know.
A bellhop's a bellhop.
Well, an inspiration to us all.
He ran the night desk for 50 years, all by himself.
An amazing man.
No desk clerk, no nightman, no help, just fucking Sam and his wits.
A man alone.
You're gonna do the same.
I know.
Tonight.
Tonight!
Yes, tonight.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. I've never worked the night shift before.
Oh, night shift, night shift.
We were supposed to work it together.
I know, but I can't.
Why not?
Having a New Year's Eve party.
Since when?
Actually, I'm not having it. My roommate is, and there's this guy, this German guy. He's going to be there, and so am I.
I can't run this place by myself.
Yeah, sure you can.
No, I can't.
Sam ran this place by himself for 50 years.
Yeah, and he had 50 years of fucking practice too. I haven't had a day.
Look, Teddy, calm down.
Don't call me Teddy.
Oh, Ted, for night's cake. It's easy. The days when it's busy during the night, there's nothing to do.
It's New Year's Eve.
Which will make it even less busy than normal. Ever worked on Christmas? Unless you sell turkeys, business is dead. You got butterflies. That's all.
Well, I have 8 butterflies. I can't handle this hotel by myself.
Betty slows the scene down.
Okay, let's just calm down a minute. Slow it down, cool it off. Let's just talk.
Any goddamn thing you want.
Ted, I thought we were calming down. I thought we were cooling off. No hostilities. Say goodbye. Goodbye to hostility. We're just talking.
Okay. I'm calm. I'm cool. Let's talk.
Ted, in a nutshell, all you have to do is hold the fort. It's New Year's Eve. Most of the guests are going out. You'll be giving them a little nod as they come staggering at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Nobody's having any parties. Few get-togethers, but no parties. You got about 3 people checking in tonight. That's it. The only variable is Chester Rush in the penthouse.
Chester Rush, the guy from the Wacky Detective.
Yeah, him and his entourage checked in last night. They're in the penthouse. The only reason I refer to it as a variable is that he's a movie star. You never know about movie stars. I'm telling you, Ted, it's cake.
Betty takes a piece of paper and writes down her number.
Okay.
And look, if you have any problems, call me at the party.
Ted thinks about it for a moment.
Okay.
Great.
For $50.
$50?
You're shirking your duties for this Nazi. Now pay that, and for that you pay the price. And the price is $50.
1, Horst is not a Nazi. 2, that's not a fair price. You're taking advantage of the situation. $20. Now your $20 is a fair price.
Yeah, but what you're doing to me ain't fair. And you are completely and totally taking advantage of me and your position. So $50 is the perfect price.
Betty begrudgingly digs into her purse.
Don't be a pussy. You don't bother me unless it's an emergency. In fact, for $50, you better not call me unless it's fucking buildings burning down.
She gives him the money.
Get ready to take the desk. Get ready to take the desk.
Betty leaves. Ted sits in the chair, takes another drink, and prepares himself for the night. Fade to black. Story title card. Room 321. Strange Brew. Fade in. Exterior, the Monsignor Hotel, dusk. Ted, the bellboy, meets his first guest of the evening as a taxi unloads her luggage. To his warm surprise, the guest is beautiful Mediterranean goddess. Actually, we will come to see she is not technically a goddess, but a high priestess. She's about 25 years old, speaks with an Italian accent, and is dressed in gypsy garb. She is Athena. Ted takes Athena's luggage into his cart, but one item in a woven Moroccan bag proves to be unbearably heavy. Athena is concerned as he attempts to lift it.
Please be careful. My God, you have no idea.
Ted strains as he uses all his cojones to lift the insanely heavy bag into the cart. Athena tips the cab driver stingily. The driver winces and gets in the cab. Ted has now managed with grunts and groans and strained blood vessels to put this thing on the cart. The cab skids away. Athena looks at Ted, who is out of breath.
I'm usually a good tipper, but this cab driver, had green all around him. I don't like that man.
Ted wheezes and pounds on his chest.
Green. Is that bad? Like you read auras or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, well, what colour you seen around me? How's the tip looking?
I see purple in your face and...
As if she can't help herself, Athena's eyes are strangely drawn to his crotch. She frowns, confused by this impulse. Ted appears to be charmingly obvious. Athena looks back into his face.
You're okay.
Ted touches his face as if searching for the purple in it and moves the cart inside, discreetly checking out his crotch and giving her a confused side glance. Interior front desk, dusk. Ted shifts his hat to check the girl in. He checks her reservation.
Athena Z.
You're booked in the honeymoon suite. Just one night? All this luggage?
I will only need to stay till sunrise.
Okay. And how will you be paying?
With gold.
He looks at this wacky gypsy chick numbly. He pulls out her gold card and smiles. Exterior elevator, dusk. The doors open and Ted and Athena emerge into the third floor. Ted follows Athena with the cart down the hallway to her room. At the honeymoon suite door, Ted opens the door, then lifts the easiest bags first. In the center of the room is a jacuzzi with a hokey plastic Cupid's pose with urns on each side. A dormant fireplace looms beyond the still hot tub. Ted stares at the heavy bag with anxiety, then looks in front of him to Athena as she rubs the round plastic head of a little Cupid and mumbles, "Perfect." Then arms wide, chin lifted to heaven, eyes closed, she mumbles a faint incantation. Then she does a belly dance wiggle and turns to Ted, who is truly perplexed.
Well, the other bag, I need it.
Right.
He starts to lift it, again straining and turning purple. He laughs sickly.
What do you got now? What do you got now, lady? Nuclear weapons.
She relieves him of the task and effortlessly picks up the bag.
The white cliffs of Dover.
Ted is stunned as she slings the bag over her shoulder and pauses to pull a 10 spot out of her cleavage. She hands it to him. 10 is grateful and disoriented.
The others will be coming soon. Send them, please.
Ted nods, confused by the others, and walks off with the cart. Then he turns from outside the doorway.
Oh, I forgot to show you how to turn on the jacuzzi.
But Athena is ahead of him. She flips a switch and water begins to flow from the baby Cupid's urns into the hot tub.
I've been in this place many New Years, so you send the others to me, huh? Go on.
As she says this, the door closes with a strange force, shutting Ted out. Athena takes the bag to the bedroom of the suite. In the suite bedroom, a round bed with pink tuck and roll headboard. It's impossible to imagine having an orgasm in this room, unless it were achieved by laughing. Athena carefully removes a large, beautiful white slab of stone from her tapestry bag. She caresses it and carries it like a baby to the bed and places it in the very center of the head of the rocking rest on dusty heart-shaped pillows. Then she removes from her bag a pink negligee and matching high heel slippers, and these she places with reverence on the bed.
On this night, O great goddess Diana, we restore your virgin flesh and bring you back to real life.
Close on the rock slab, we hold the artifact.
Soon, I take you to the pond for a cleaning. Well, it's a swimming pool, but it will be under the setting sun, okay?
Interior front desk, dusk falls. Just as Ted is recovering from the mystery of his first guest, Elizabeth arrives. She has skin like marble, the body of Venus, piercing blue eyes, blonde hair, and is dressed in all black, like Honey West in a rubber dress. She carries several bags and a silver sword on her shoulder.
May I help you?
We have a reservation.
Then she snaps, irritated, behind her.
Kiva!
Angle on a young punk rocker chick with long orange hair, a long leather coat, wearing a tight t-shirt with studs spelling pussy across her breast. This is Kiva. Kiva is kicking the tar and nicotine out of the cigarette machine just as Ted's eyes grow wide with anxiety. Several packs of smokes drop into the juvenile delinquent's hands.
Wait up! God! I had to get supplies for this boring ass night.
We have reservations in the honeymoon suite.
Oh, yeah, you must be one of the others. And what are you carrying? The Rock of Gibraltar?
She stares at him without humor. He fumbles for the key. He walks around the desk to help her with her black crocodile luggage. Jars clang inside. He's ready to go, but Elizabeth turns to lecture Kiva on the hazards of smoking as Kiva lights up.
What I tell you about smoking.
You smoke.
That's right. I smoke, and I'm addicted to it. And I don't want the same thing to happen to you.
Hello, welcome to this week's edition of the Hypocrite of the Year Award.
As Kiva goes off on her impression of a game show host, Elizabeth is growing increasingly rageful, like a mother with an unruly child. Ted waits, luggage in hand.
Kiva, that's enough.
She cuts Kiva's ramble off. Kiva blows smoke defiantly.
You're not my mother.
Yes, I am.
Then why are we sleeping together?
Ted looks on uneasily at the relationship that is beginning to unfold here. Elizabeth checks his reaction and becomes self-conscious at his scrutiny.
Well, I didn't mean it. Literally, I happen to be the only one who cares about you.
But her wild child looks off board. Elizabeth turns to Ted, flustered.
Please take us to our room.
Ted smiles uneasily and reaches to relieve her of her sword, but Elizabeth quickly slams her palm on the sword and shoots him a piercing glare. He jumps back with a nervous laugh. He leads the way to the elevator. At the honeymoon suite door, the couch has been set out here in the hall, as well as the coffee tables, lamps, and the TV. Elizabeth and Kiva enter the room. Athena is gone. As Ted stumbles around the furniture in the hall, he peers into the room and sees a transformation. With most of the furniture removed, candles and incense and flowers are beginning to form an altar around the fireplace. But oddest of all is the pink-tinged water swirling in the jacuzzi and pouring from the Cupid urns. A sprinkle of white powder on the carpet encircles the hot tub. Elizabeth hands him a tip as he gawks at the circle.
Flea powder. One of the others is bringing her cat.
Ted starts away again, perplexed. He turns for one last look to see Elizabeth kneeling before Kiva, who sprawls on the floor. He shakes his head and leaves.
You're going to have to wait in the other room.
Why?
Because I said so.
Fine, I'll watch TV.
You can't watch TV because the noise will interfere with our ritual.
Kiva looks around the room and spies the TV in the hallway. She turns to Elizabeth with sarcastic concession.
Okay, mummy.
Elizabeth bristles as the brat saunters off to the bedroom. Elizabeth enters the sacred circle, stands before the altar, whips out her sword, and makes a ceremonial gesture, pointing the sword upward, perfectly centered between her breasts. Kiva, behind Elizabeth's back, exits from the bedroom doorway into the hallway and comes back in, lugging the TV into the honeymoon bedroom. Elizabeth kneels before the altar. Athena enters the room with the cleansed artifact and lays the slab in the center of the altar upon the heart-shaped pillows as Elizabeth lays her sword next to the rock. The women look upon the union with tender affection.
Soon our goddess will come. I will go get her negligee.
Athena stands up, but her reverie is dispelled as she shrieks. Loud TV suddenly blasts from the bedroom, and Kiva the brat is trying on the pink negligee over her clothes. Athena takes the negligee off the irresponsible youth.
What are you doing? Have you no respect? Who is this girl?
Kiva, my friend. Kiva, turn off the TV. I can't leave her at home. She's on probation, and I gotta keep an eye on her.
Well, Elspeth, your friend cannot stay here during the ritual. She may be one of your kind, but she's not one of us.
She stays. Or I go, along with my offerings.
The women have a stare down. Then Athena calls out,
Turn off the fucking TV, man!
Make me.
Elspeth becomes anxious with jealousy. Athena is exasperated. She firmly demands from Elspeth,
Let's not forget, I am the high fucking priestess. Deal with this girl.
Elizabeth defers to Athena with remembered reverence and respect. She bows apologetic and scurries to the bedroom.
Ugh, tell me, did we have these problems in Salem? I don't think so.
In the bedroom, Elizabeth swallows her rage and approaches the brat with a soft touch.
Kiva, you know what I love about you?
Kiva smirks. Yeah, she knows.
Your sweet side.
And what do I get if I'm sweet?
You get whatever you want. And you know what else I love about you?
What?
Your nose.
And saying this, she kisses Kiva's nose and leaves the room. Kiva is quieted now. As Elizabeth closes the bedroom door, she has the last word.
And I saw you checking her out.
Kiva slinks back on the bed, put in her place. For now. In the hallway, exterior elevator dusk, the doors open and Ted pushes a cart of expensive designer luggage, and lots of it, behind yet another gorgeous gal. This one is Jezebel, a southern beauty, fawning over her cat as she carries nothing else and proceeds down the hall like a southern princess.
Oh, you little stinker, you little sweet muffin. Yes, Mama loves a baby. Mm.
At the door, Jezebel bursts in, chattering.
Oh, well, isn't this just darling? Just darling. Howdy, girls.
You actually have a cat, yet you're holding a dinosaur. Ted carries all her bags inside awkwardly. Again, the place has become all the more transformed with wide canopies of exotic cloths and fixings. Elizabeth and Athena are hard at work on a strange nature sculpture as Jezebel enters. She stands inside the powdered circle and before the hot tub, which now has dark blue water swirling inside. She presents her cat upward towards the heaven, frees the cat, bares her breasts, and sucks in the vibes. Ah. Ted settles the bag down, hoping for a peek at her charms, but her back is to him. The kitty rubs on her leg. She picks it up and presses it against her bare breast, petting it sweetly. She winks and hands him a tip.
Toodaloo.
What happened to the cat? And saying this, she shoos him away. Oh, it's now oh fuck, I can't remember his name. Through the glass doors in the bedroom, she sees Kiva sprawled on the bed, riding on herself. That's right, Elf.
Well, I see Elspeth was herself a new little fool. What the hell's she doing here on our night of annual ritual?
I have sanctioned her presence as long as she behaves. Come on, there's more work to be done to welcome our great Diana.
I want room service!
Why do I always attract girls who are looking for a babysitter?
Well, now, honey, maybe juvenile hall isn't the best place to find a serious relationship material.
Elizabeth sees at her. Jezebel acts blithely innocent. In the hallway, Ted is walking from the room with a cart. His face is etched in a mask of perpetual frown as he looks at the tip in his hand. At least these lunatics tip well. Waking him out of his deep move is Raven, another female intoxication. She wears a short skirt all done up in Native American Southwestern themes. No shoes, but she carries a small old handmade broom. She moves down the hall, blissed out. Ted makes eye contact despite himself. I'm looking for the room for making love.
Oh, you might be referring to the honeymoon street. Straight that way, you can't miss it. See all the furniture in the hallway?
Oh, I know the way. I just wanted you to know that I knew where I was going, that you didn't need to bother yourself with me. The others are here. Great.
Yeah, so great. It's fantastic.
Oh. I know it all seems very strange, but you're coping with us much better than the bellboys of the past New Year's.
Past New Year's?
Oh, yes. We've been coming here every New Year for a long time. Thanks for your patience.
Oh, hey, no problem. Wreck the place. Bring in cats, ruin the carpet with flea powder, pour paint in the jacuzzi, throw the furniture out. Where are your bags?
I travel very light. Ted looks down at the broom at her side, her bare feet, her thick, dark curls. It keeps getting weirder. She wanders off. Into your front desk night, the last of the lovely girls arrives. She's different from the others. She looks like a farm girl, very earth mother, with a tablecloth halter top and skirts, sandals, and simple scarf over her long, dark curls. She carries 2 bags by herself and holds a small black pot under her arms. She is Eva.
Yeah, honeymoon suite.
Sir. Oh, yes, I am late. I'm late.
She lowers her eyes, worried.
Right, let me give you a hand.
Oh, no, that's all right. I can carry them by myself.
She is so sweet and sincere that he feels like a heel to have been irritated with her. He picks up her bags.
I'm a man doing a job. No hero.
Eva smiles beautifully.
Well, gosh, thank you.
In the elevator, Ted holds Eva's hippie sacks as she holds her black pot. There is a shy, quiet tension here.
Tell me, how long have the others been here?
About an hour.
Eva's heart sinks. They arrive at the door. He carries her bags in. In the suite, the room is entirely transformed into a beautiful, glowing palace with elaborate altar, both earthly and other earthly. The other 4 girls are arranging the altar as Eva enters.
You're very late, Eva.
I'm sorry, Athena. I was attending a birth at the Pheasantina, was late in coming.
Oh
Placenta,
my God, the
Travis.
placenta.
Oh, guys, that was a good one.
Ted is quite greasy. She hands him a tip and smiles, then takes it back.
Oh, wait. Let me give you a little more than that.
Ted's no fool. He waits while Eva looks through her change purse.
Which birth is more important to you, that of a mortal or that of a goddess?
All life is precious, but I do apologize for being late, Elspeth.
Back home, they just yank on the umbilical cord, do a karate chop in the mama's belly, and then things come right out.
They do here too, Jezebel, in the hospitals, but it causes hemorrhages. I felt the mother a bowl of comfrey tea, and it brought the afterbirth down perfectly. The couple are going to use it for fertilizer to plant a lovely tree for their baby.
Oh, wow. If they were really back to nature, they'd eat it like other mammals do.
Close on Ted's face, he gets thoroughly grossed out. In some Native American cultures, they dry the umbilical cord, grind it into a fine powder, and put it in a leveled pouch that the baby wears to ward off evil. But burying the placenta is also very sound ecological practice because the oxygen it carries.
Yes, because you see when the placenta detaches from the uterine wall.
Thank you, ladies. I'm gonna be going now. If you need anything.
Eva places a nice tip in his palm.
Wait, we do need a few things.
Ted sighs as Eva enters the circle with her black pot. She kneels softly, holds her hands in piety before the altar, and softly incants as she offers her pot and places it on the altar. The stone and the sword and the flowers now rest here on pillows covered in chiffon scarves. The negligee hangs from the mantle, the slippers underneath, as if expecting someone to materialize into the garments.
We need fresh rosemary from the kitchen. Mostly what we need is from the kitchen. Hey, are you listening?
Ted is watching Eva, enchanted. A little louder.
Oh, yes, rosemary.
And a little bit of sea salt or kosher salt if you don't have any sea salt. A bottle of spring water, Italian please, not French shit.
Kiva?
And some French fries.
Kiva, shut up.
And some ginger, 2 eyes of the trout fish, and a piece of raw meat liver, if you have it.
I want fries, you dumb jerks with your stupid fucking ritual.
Shut up, you little shit.
Don't talk to her that way.
Ted has scribbled down the items as she speaks. He looks at his list and these girls and shudders as he walks away. He turns, points at Eva. Ted smiles at the angel of a girl. He smiles back. But as she looks at him in the eyes, he feels a strange buzzing connection happening. He holds his head, almost swooning with dizziness. Athena smirks.
Get to work, man.
Ted comes out of the daze, looks at the list again, and huffs off. After he goes, the girls begin to bring forth their most treasured offerings in ornate ancient bottles, vases, or vials. Jezebel folds her arms and clears her throat in the direction of Kiva, sitting idly on the edge of the blue water jacuzzi with her feet dipping irreverently in the water.
Kiva.
What?
You have to go into the next room now.
Wow, I'm bummed out that I can't watch. I'm bored.
Up.
She climbs up the stairs, trying to pull the brat to her feet.
Don't put me in there by myself. I'll miss you way too much.
Kiva, don't do this to me.
Kiva sees a bit of weakening here. She takes her feet out of the jacuzzi and she begins to speak softly.
Please, if you just let me, I'll play dress up with you the way you like it. You know what I mean? Remember?
Elizabeth begins to weaken, but continues to pull the brat up. Kiva pours on softer seduction.
We can pretend, and I'll do it exactly the way you want it, with the egg whites and the kilt.
Elizabeth is now fully seduced. Kiva takes Elizabeth's hand and presses it lightly on her face.
You mean like last week?
Kiva nods. Elizabeth is enthralled, but from a disgusted ick sound from Jezebel, Elizabeth realizes she's revealing this side of her life in front of her covenant. She nervously looks around and sees all the covenant looking at her, a disgusted Jezebel, an understanding Raven, a preoccupied Eva, and an impatient and stern Athena. Elizabeth comes to her senses, straightens her posture.
We'll talk about this later, Kiva.
No!
She turns on Elizabeth and bites her hand. Elizabeth pulls her arm away and grabs Kiva by the hair.
Sorry, y'all. I'm drowning in cat hair here. Oh, really now? Child abuse?
You stay out of this.
I demand this stop now, Elspeth.
Elizabeth lets go of Kiva's hair. Kiva jerks away from her.
I'm running away from you!
Fine, go ahead, and I'll call a parole officer and she'll find you and send you back to Eastlake.
Kiva stomps off into the bedroom.
Now that fucking melodrama is over, can we start the goddamn ritual, please?
Elspeth enters the power circle. Each girl takes off her shoes. They anoint themselves with oils.
We are communing here on New Year's Eve to bring to life the great goddess Diana, who was turned to stone in this very room 40 years ago today.
The girls moan in sleepy, eerie agreement as they begin to sway within the circle.
Diana, great, beautiful one, we make these offerings to you that we may undo the wicked spell which deprived you of the seed of your lover, your virginal blood, of your very life. We now form the symbolic rock with our bodies.
And saying this, the girls all form a rock with their bodies gracefully draping one upon the other. Music begins, and slowly they start to unfold from the rock. The girls each find their place in a semicircle around the jacuzzi. Some bare their breasts, others strip off layers of clothes. They anoint their arms with water from the jacuzzi. They begin a lovely dance, snaking their way around the semicircle. The first one goes from one end to the other is Athena. Then she proceeds up the stairs and positions herself between the altar and the jacuzzi. She steps forth with a bottle to the altar and pours it into the jacuzzi.
On this night, in this hour, we call upon an ancient power. O goddess bride, I offer thee milk from a mother's sweet titty.
Each of the girls moan eerily. Athena places the bottle on the altar and bows away. She joins the circle as Elspeth now forward with her offering in a vial.
To reverse the evil which has been done, I make the offering to the Divine One. A whore not, an innocent was, for whom I seized a virgin's blood.
Goddess of light and goddess of lust, to undo this awful spell is a real must. To bring you life and to get you high, I offer the sweat of 5 men's thighs.
The girls moan loudly as they sway. Jezebel places her offerings in the hot tub and bows out, returning to the circle. Now Raven comes forth with a small leather canteen. She unscrews the lid as she offers her opiate stupor. Diana, oh great, we live without the sun. Until this wicked curse is undone, I hope you live and let us appear and have collected a year's worth of tears. She pours the liquid into the mix. As the witches moan, now it's Eva's turn. Eva continues to sway, not moving forth to the altar. The girls keep their eyes closed as they sway, waiting for Eva's offering. Athena finally gives her push and she goes. Eva kneels before the altar. She produces a silver bottle with a chain on the cap and neck. She timidly begins to incant.
Great goddess Diana, fail you I will. I was to bring fresh sperm from my bill. I had him erect, and his semen would flow. But alas, I was so hot that I swallowed.
The moans turn to wails as the girls gasp and shriek. Athena opens her eyes wildly.
You stupid little witch! You swallowed the sperm? Ay, ay, ay.
Elspeth opens her eyes and folds her arms, smirking bitterly.
It just shows what an amazing lack of control you have over yourself, Eva.
Honey, why didn't you just use your hands? Didn't your mama teach you not to put them things in your mouth?
I understand, though. Eva bursts into tears. Athena is firm.
There's no time to cry over swallowed sperm. You're gonna have to get some, baby. You've got 1 hour to prove what kind of witch you really are.
Just then, a knock at the door.
What do you want?
Ted, the bellboy.
Athena smiles and turns to Eva.
Mr. Bellboy, come right in.
Ted opens the doors. His eyes bulge as he looks upon the fleshy feast. He steps back. They giggle seductively, all except Eva, who sniffles, red-eyed. Amazingly, Ted's attention is captivated by Eva's sorrow, not by the naked charms of the other witches. She shyly covers her breasts. Sensitive to her shame and sorrow, he looks away and steps from the door to fetch the room service cart. Athena directs the others to put on their shirts. Ted wheels in the cart.
Here are the things you asked for, and sorry, I'm not going to pick the eyes out of this dead fish.
He points to the trout. Elizabeth picks it up, flings the eyes into the jacuzzi, and tosses the trout out the window. She smirks at him contemptuously.
Okay, mister, here's your $50 tip. Only you have to do one more thing. Make our little Eva smile. Can you? We'll leave you alone. And don't use your mouth.
The girls step out. Athena turns to Eva and points to her watch, then holds up one finger. Eva looks up worried. The door closes on her and Ted. She looks at Ted and sighs. He covers her with a shawl. In the hallway, the other witches listen at the door.
If she doesn't get his goop in 10 minutes, I'm going to take him myself.
That'll be a first for you.
Oh, shit. Kiva.
She runs back in for her bratty girlfriend, who's already sneaking out the bedroom door.
And just where do you think you're going?
Oh, God, I need a candy bar or something. You haven't fed me all day. Getting all shaky. My blood sugar's really low.
Elspeth, honestly, now some babysitter you're turning out to be.
Enough, girls. I will collect fresh earth, Jezebel. I want you to gather damp moss. Raven, you bring me a birch branch. Elspeth, you go feed your terrible girlfriend. We meet back here in 1 hour, and let's all have faith that Eva can get this guy off.
The witches disperse. Interior honeymoon suite night. Eva sits among pillows before the altar as Ted stands in front of her. Ted is trying his best to make poor Eva smile, but no matter what his antics, she looks off sadly.
Well, help me out, lady. I got to earn this $50.
Oh, look. They don't care if I smile or not. All they want is...
Ted waits. She sighs and rests her chin on her hand.
You won't understand, believe me.
She begins to cry tearfully again.
It's rhyming. I've been around, you know.
He postures proudly, all puffed out. Eva looks at him helplessly, and he paternally encourages her to explain.
Well, okay. The 5 of us, Elspeth, Jezebel, Athena, Raven, and me are a convent.
What, like a coven of witches?
Yes.
Oh.
He looks around the room. Quick cuts of candles, iconography, jars of lurid substances, unknown body parts of animals woven into the nature sculpture. Are those tongues in that can? Ted's getting the creeps, but again, puffs himself up.
Oh, I knew that.
And you see, our coven has spent 40 years trying to perfect a ritual to undo a wicked curse put on our goddess Diana.
Actually, you don't look a day over 20.
Oh, I mean, the witches before us tried and failed, but Athena, our high priestess, discovered a great potion to reverse the evil spell, which turned our beautiful goddess into an old rock.
Yeah. Was that her?
Eva nods, looking lovingly at the stone.
She was a beautiful virgin, an entertainer by trade, but a great sorceress by design. It was here in this very room, on her wedding night, a jealous revival placed the curse. Revival, thank you. Placed the curse on Diana.
She turned to that. Here.
Yes, and her young husband turned into a pink fish. They found him swimming in the pool in circles, while our dear goddess a stone in her honeymoon bed.
Ted frowns as he ponders all of this. Eva takes a photo of the altar and hands it to Ted.
This was Diana.
Close-on photo, a blonde bombshell in full-on Betty Page attire, a bare-tittied pinup girl playfully spanking a girl in bondage with a spiked high heel.
Well, this girl here. This is the goddess Diana.
The photograph slowly comes alive. Diana stops spanking the girl and unties her. She pulls the girl in the black satin mask up off her lap and makes the girl stand. The women face each other and break into a cheek-to-cheek tango. Close on Ted as he shakes his head. Are his eyes playing tricks on him?
I hate to tell you this, but I kind of doubt she was a virgin.
Ooh, but she was. She had lovers, but she saved that for marriage, which is the example I've tried to follow, to do everything but that till I marry.
She begins to sob again. Ted comforts her.
Hey, don't cry. Look, a virgin is a rare and beautiful thing. You say she was a virgin, I believe it.
Well, it doesn't matter now, and she won't resurrected tonight because I failed her. I let my whole coven down.
Wait a sec. That rock was going to turn back into this.
He holds up the photo. Eva nods.
Well, that'll be something worth seeing.
Only not now. We were each supposed to bring something in life fluid.
Oh, this is going to be like one of those afterbirth conversations. I don't think I want to hear this.
Only I swallowed.
You swallowed what?
Eva looks off. Ted searches his brains, thoroughly sickened now.
But you mean you were supposed to bring like a guy's and you?
She nods. He winces. Queasy. Eva looks at him helpless.
And now you're my last chance.
Yeah, sure. Wait, what? You want my for the witchy? Ah, no way, no. Besides, it's against hotel policy. I was warned. No sex with the clientele.
Eva sobs, pleading. She throws off her shawl, baring her lovely breasts, and reaches her arms around his neck. He keeps backing off. Unbeknownst to him, he's already doing a ritualistic shuffle.
Hey, come on now, joke's over. Hey, we're going to step in the flea powder.
That's not flea powder. That's sacred dust ground from the horns of albino goats.
Right, I knew that.
He is backing away into the circle as she comes for him, soft and sweet. Her eyes are again putting the magic hex on him as he tries to resist her gaze.
So, what's a nice girl like you doing in a coven, anyway?
Well, see, what I really want to do is be a midwife. I've attended 4 births already. I can't prevent vaginal tears and everything.
Oh, tears? Well, that's a good thing. Guy doesn't like too many surprises down there.
All the while, she is stepping towards him into the circle.
I joined the coven to attain greater understanding of my feminine power so I could become a truly great midwife.
Oh, well, so you've been getting a lot of insight into your, girl pals.
Eva sweetly takes his hand and places it on her breast.
Do you really think so?
Well, yeah, it just seems to be the case. Oh, God. Betty's going to kill me.
Who's Betty? Your girlfriend?
No, my boss.
Oh, good.
Oh, no.
They fall
Okay.
into a kiss as she begins to remove his cap. She moves him towards the jacuzzi, closer and closer. Dissolved to interior hallway night, Ted pushes his room service cart. He's flushed, puffed up, lights a cigarette, takes a great big satisfied drag. Eva runs to the door dreamily, her naked body wrapped in her shawl. She passes him a card.
My phone number in Topanga. Call me.
Sure, baby. Yeah, I'll give you a call.
She smiles and shuts the door. The other witches are arriving with supplies from the garden. Kiva, now having raised her blood sugar, sucks on a lollipop, a sunny girl. She talks to Raven, who carries a birch limb.
What's that used for?
It's a birch branch, symbolizing eternal life. You can also use the bark for a tree which assists in astral travel.
Hey, I want to be a witch.
The other girls roll their eyes as Elspeth smiles proudly. Ted blows the smoke at them and pushes his cart off down the hall. The witches run inside the room. In the suite, Eva sits blissed out in the center of the circle, smiles.
I'm a woman now.
But where is his stuff?
We did it. Right there in the big cauldron.
Oh, honey, you're gonna be sore tomorrow. Didn't your mama teach you that water strips a girl's lubrication?
Saxon water is great in the movies, but not in real life. But you'll learn, as we all did.
When she can't walk. I guess you wouldn't have those kind of problems without penetration.
No, and virtually no cervical cancer either.
Okay, girls, enough sex education 101. Let's get going with our ritual, goddammit.
Athena regally leads the ritual as they all bare their breasts again. Kiva throws off her shirt to join in. As she does, we see the black bondage tape on her nipples. Elspeth darts a quick look at the tape, looks at the other witches, not sure she likes this, but she goes with it. The witches sway in a circle, eyes closed, as Eva makes her offering.
Goddess Diana, I offer you the jism of one I wooed for you, that you may live. And now such bliss. I've getting laid by a guy like this.
The witches all incant.
So
Oh,
it
must
be three
times, three times,
three.
three.
They march half naked as they moan and revel in eerie cries. The jacuzzi begins to bubble and boil. Their cries heightened. The potion bubbles over. Dissolved 2 hours later, Athena reads from a huge leather-bound book, the Book of Shadows, full of potions and spells. 4 discouraged witches pack their bags. The room has been restored to its worldly under-splendor. Kiva uses the remote on the TV. So much witchcraft. The slab of rock remains a slab.
I don't understand what went wrong.
I say Eva pulled one over on us.
What?
Honey, Eva was wearing the face of someone just fuck good. And the best actress in this world or any other can't fake a thing like that.
Exactly. If she was fucked so good, how could she save him? How could she save his cum?
It could be done.
Girls, knock it off. Maybe it needed to be the sperm of a virgin male?
He was no virgin.
The witches sadly collect their things. Athena, deep in thought, strokes the slab.
Let's leave her here with the sword until dawn. I will come back for her before checkout time. I just feel too sad to carry her away before the sun comes up to warm her.
They all agree. They pick up their bags and head out.
I can't believe we have to carry our own bags out. My mama would have a hissy fit.
I'll carry your bags.
You're carrying my bags.
They leave the room. Jezebel's cat leaps from her arms as she hoists her luggage. Eva walks out satisfied, though perhaps a little sore. Ouch, she says and smiles. Athena takes one last look at their goddess slab.
Next year we try again with virgin sperm.
She closes the door on the honeymoon suite until next New Year's Eve. Fade to black. 4 rooms. Fade up on. Interior Monsignor lobby night. Ted behind the desk on the phone. We only hear his side.
Look, Jesus, what did I tell you? Do you want the milk and cookies or do you not? I can't turn on an adult station without permission from your parents. Well, that's not what the machine tells me. You be good and you'll get milk and cookies, but for now, leave me alone, please. They'll be able to put you both to sleep.
He hangs up.
Goddamn kids.
Super 1 a.m. The phone rings again.
Room service.
Interior room 404 night. A small party is going on. A long-haired yuppie scum type is on the line. Music blares. People dance in the background.
What room am I in?
Interior front desk night. Back and forth.
This is the front desk, sir.
The Yuppie turns away from the phone and speaks to real Theodore.
What room are we in?
How should I know? I just got here.
You know, you don't have one of those light things, don't
Well,
you?
you care to go to the door and look at the other side? You'll find the room number.
Call my assistant and ask her what floor we're on.
Who is your assistant?
The girl you party with every night?
Who?
I'm here alone, sir.
It's room 404, I think.
I could have sworn we were on the 5th floor.
Right. 404.
Right, 404.
What do you need, sir?
What do we need?
Ice.
Ice?
Ice.
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 Yeah, ice.
Right, sir. Ice. 404. I'll be with you momentarily.
Cut to story title card, room 404, The Wrong Man. Interior dark hallway. Ted saunters down a hallway with a butt hanging out the corner of his mouth and a bucket of ice swinging at his side. He pulls up at a door which the faded numbers read something like room 404. Ted knocks on the door. After a moment, the latch is thrown and the door swings open. Ted cautiously steps into the dark room. Interior room 404.
Anybody home?
A demonic cackle cuts through the darkness.
No one here but us chickens.
It's pretty dark in here, sir.
Well, what do you expect, Theodore? A fucking floor show?
Do I know you?
I don't know. Do you?
In a flash, the lights switch on and Ted finds himself staring down the barrel of a pretty intense-looking 357, I can't remember, the Magnum, locked and ready to fire. At the end of the gun stands a 50-year-old man, Sigfried, who sports a Cheshire cat smile and a "just try fucking with me" look on his face. Sigfried isn't the only person in the room. Directly behind him sits a beautiful young woman, Angela, gagged and bound to a chair. Ted drops the bucket to the floor.
What's your eyes?
That's cute. In fact, the whole setup's kind of cute. The monkey suit's a nice touch, honey puss.
This has to be a mistake. Is this room 404?
Theodore? What do you take me for, Theodore?
A very upset man.
Sigfried reaches in his pocket and throws a handful of assorted stimulants into his mouth, chewing on them like they were breath mints. Sigfried thrusts his hand forward, gripping Ted by the throat, and leads him to Angela.
I am an upset man, Theodore.
How do you know my name, sir?
I'm psychic, Theodore.
Look, my name's Ted, actually, and I've no idea what's going on here. But I've obviously come at a time.
Let's not belabor the fact that you have no sense of timing, Theodore. The fact is, you're here.
Siegfried turns to Angela.
And I couldn't think of a better time for you to introduce me to your beau than on New Year's Eve.
Oh, fuck. Look, there's a mistake. You're fucking wrong here. Look, my name is Theodore. Yes, my mother named me that, and I hate the name. But I'm bellhop. People call me Ted. I work here.
Suddenly, with great force, Siegfried slams the butt of his pistol smack into Ted's temple, sending him to the floor. Ted looks up at Siegfried in shock.
Look, I'd love to sit here all night with you talking about things like when you broke in your first mitt. That was insensitive of me, wasn't it, Theodore? Well, let's cut to the chase, okay?
Okay.
So apologize.
A tense silence fills the room. All eyes are on Ted, who can't figure out what the fuck this guy wants.
What?
Siegfried looks hard with disbelief as Ted, who winces back.
You are really beginning to annoy me, Theodore.
Siegfried throws another handful of pills into his mouth.
Look, obviously you two are working something out, and if I could help you with your problem, I would.
What are you saying? Are you saying I got a problem? Are you trying to say I don't give her what she needs? That I'm fucking insensitive?
Is this about another man or something?
Ted has struck a raw nerve. Sigfried's move drastically swings. He bends down next to Ted.
Let's get our ABCs right here, Theodore. Theodore, right?
Ted's better.
Ted. Okay. Are you saying my wife cheats on me?
I didn't say that.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Theodore, this is about as intimate a situation as you can get. You, me, and Angela here, it's pretty cozy. To say nothing about how stupid an idea it is to lie to a man with a loaded gun without considering the possible response. I demand an apology.
The phone rings.
Don't move. I gotta take this.
Sigfried glances at it, then to Angela. He picks up the phone.
What? We ain't got any needles here, kid, just a big fucking gun.
He listens to the other line, says goodbye, and hangs up.
Now, where was I? Oh, yeah, I remember.
Sigfried kneels next to Ted and assumes a prayer position.
I want you to pray for forgiveness, Theodore.
Sigfried's hands clasped together, signals for Ted to do the same. The gun lies at his side. Ted considers a bold move, but thinks better of it. Sigfried's eyes pop open. He cuts a look to Ted, signaling him to assume the pose.
Now say after me, I apologize.
I apologize.
For what?
Ted looks to Angela for help. She can only stare back with intense, wide open eyes.
For fucking what?
That I said you might have been unfaithful?
That I said you might have been unfaithful? Listen, Theodore, you're in church here. You're kneeling in front of an altar. Truth. Truth is all it hears. Say the following. I, Theodore, must humbly and sincerely apologize for saying that you fucked another man.
Ted repeats what Fred has told him. This appears to have a calming effect on Sigfried, who gets off the floor, turning his face to Angela.
Satisfied?
Angela nods.
Do you accept the fucking apology?
Naturally, Angela says nothing.
You always got to get the last word, don't you? It's one way with you, isn't it, Angela? I give and I give and I get nothing back.
Sigfried turns to Ted.
She just sits there waiting for me to jump through hoops.
Angela attempts to speak through the gag. Both men wait with bated breath for a response. Sigfried's had enough.
Stupid me. For a second, I thought you were going to say something. Something like, I'm sorry. Ha! I'm sorry. You're absolutely right, love cakes. I wouldn't want it that way. That's one thing you can say about Angela. She'll never do anything she doesn't want to do. If the feeling ain't there, she just isn't going to do it. There is nothing in this world as fucked as a woman who gives when she doesn't want to. Never let that happen to you, Theodore. It makes you feel very little indeed.
Ted beckons Sigfried.
Do you mind if I...
Go ahead. Spit it out.
Don't mean to upset you further, sir, but I think she was trying to say, yes.
Are you condescending to me, Theodore?
Absolutely not. I would never do that.
Why don't you just say it?
Say what?
That you think I'm an idiot.
I would never say that.
You think you're superior to me, don't you, Theodore? You don't think I noticed there's a gag in the woman's mouth?
Of course you do.
Naturally, of course. And do you know how I know that?
How, sir?
Because I put the gag in her mouth. I'm going to let you in a little secret about communication, Theodore. It's all in the eyes. Him or me? Him or me? No one? Okay, let's try it out.
Sigfried empties the last of the pills into his mouth, heaving the empty bottle over his shoulder. He takes off, disappearing into the bathroom. Interior room 404. Ted finds himself alone with Angela. They lock eyes. Angela implores Ted to lean forward. Ted sizes up the situation. His chances of making it to the door are slim due to the fact they would have to pass by the bathroom door. Ted paces back and forth in front of Angela, who struggles to get his attention. He whips around and they face off in what appears to be a game of charades. Ted finally gets to the point and cautiously removes the gag from Angela's mouth. Angela spits an old sock out.
We don't have time to play charades here, asshole. Untie me quick.
Lady, I don't know what the hell is going on here, but I'd appreciate it if you would explain to that face that he's making a big mistake.
Look, whether you like it or not, you're in the middle of a situation here you can't just wish your way out of.
I've never met you people before! We're complete strangers!
Everyone starts out strangers, Ted. That's where we end up that counts. Hurry up.
Ted wrestles with the idea of whether to untie Angela or not.
I don't know if I can do this. It's too hard.
Life is hard, Ted. You ever stop to consider how many times you change your underwear in a lifetime?
On a nervous impulse, Ted begins the calculations.
Don't mean literally, you ignoramus.
What?
Forget it. Listen to me. There's a gun in my suitcase behind the bed. It's loaded.
I'm not going to shoot anybody.
Fine, get the gun and I'll shoot anybody.
And make me an accessory to the murder of your husband.
Ted collapses to his knees in front of Angela.
That's not fair. It just isn't fair.
Oh, get a fucking grip on yourself. First off, who says he's my husband? And second, we are a long way from fair here. Fair is back in jolly old England, eating crumpets and sipping on tea.
Ted collects himself.
Not so fast. Look, maybe there are two sides to this thing.
There are two sides to a plate. Still, you only eat off one. Now get the gun!
What's it got you tied up?
I'm a werewolf, Ted. Get the gun!
Ted is at a loss of what to say. Angela turns on the charm.
Come on, Ted. Come over here just for a minute. You can do it. Come on, Ted. You look like a good guy.
Ted creeps towards her.
That's it, Teddy. Oh, you look so much more attractive when you're self-assured.
Sigfried suddenly comes to life. He's heard from the bathroom, belting out, "Life is but a dream." She booms, she booms. She booms.
Quick, he's coming back. Put the gag back in. Remember the gun.
Ted hurries to replace the sock in her mouth.
9,322 times, to the best of my estimation.
Interior room 404. Sigfried coughs, sending a chill up Ted's spine. Ted whips around to discover Sigfried leaning up against the door of the bathroom.
I was just beginning to think I could trust you, Theodore. Silly me.
Ted's fingers are frozen over Angela's lips.
Just trying to help her breathe a little.
Don't let me stop you, Teddy. You don't mind me calling you Teddy, do you?
Fine.
You know, I used to have a little bunny rabbit named Teddy. It looked real cute nibbling on Angela's ear. Only problem here is you're no bunny rabbit, Theodore, and it really fucking razzes me to picture you doing it. But don't let me stop you, Teddy. No need to play sneaky poo.
Ted starts to back towards the door.
Look, this is some kind of voodoo thing, and you want me to have sex with your wife? There's absolutely no way.
I said nibble, asshole, now!
The directness of Sigfried's command, coupled with the sound of a trigger being cocked, forces Ted to approach Angela. Angela is a stunning beauty, and Ted, being kind of a shy guy, makes an awkward situation. Ted leans forward. As he closes in, Angela's eyes close.
Sorry, lady.
Ted pulls up short of actually nibbling on Angela.
Well, what's the matter? No whiz left in the cheese? I'm not cramping your style, am I?
Look! I'm not playing this game anymore.
Sigfried yanks Ted backwards. He wraps his arms around him.
It's almost all over, Theodore, and soon you can go home to mommy.
Ted struggles to free himself from Sigfried's powerful bear hug and blasts out the following monologue.
My name's not Theodore. It's Ted. 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 T-E-E. Ted. Not Teddy. Not Theodore. Ted. Yes. My mother did the service of naming me Theodore. Well, I haven't a clue as to how you know that, because everyone who knows that lives a long way away from me. You have any idea what it's like to go to school where all the kids' parents are in jail for doing time for crimes like grand larceny, aggravated assault, burglary, and murder, and you get stuck with a mother who names you Theodore and dresses you up in little matching pink outfits with, get this, a little blue bow fucking tie? I'll tell you what happens. Pretty soon, Theodore becomes Theo the Thumber. And when Theo the Thumper gets old enough, he packs his bags and goes thousands of miles away, where he can put the whole bloody mess behind him. So if you don't mind, shoot me now. There's no one is calling me that again. My name is Ted. Okay? Good. Ted.
Sigfried has followed the entire tirade in stunned silence. He takes a step towards Ted and offers him his hand.
Sigfried.
What?
My name is Sigfried.
Siegfried.
Sigfried cuts a something wrong with that look at Ted.
Yeah, Sigfried.
Nice to meet you, Siegfried.
Ted cautiously takes Sigfried's hand.
Very impressive, Ted. Theo the Thumper. Ouch.
Yeah.
It's a deal, kid. Ted it will be.
Thanks.
Sigfried holds onto Ted's hand. The soft sound of a distant firework pops in the background. Car horns and a muffled countdown signal that it's New Year's Eve. Oh, New Year's. Sigfried moves uncomfortably close to Ted and from out of nowhere bolts forward, planting a wet kiss right on Ted's mouth. Something snaps in Sigfried. He either is getting really off on this or is caught in the grips of a seizure. He doubles back on the floor as Ted and Angela watch as he flops around like a flounder with a cocked gun waving all over the place. Ted wipes his mouth in his jacket sleeve while trying to dodge the barrel of the gun.
Are you okay, mister? I'll get help.
Sigfried managed to steady the gun and point it directly at Ted. He signals for Ted to go to the bathroom.
That's the wrong door, sir.
Sigfried grabs Ted by the leg and shoves the barrel of the gun into his crotch. Sigfried pulls Ted's face closer to his.
Get me the nitro. It's in the bathroom cabinet now.
Ted rushes into the bathroom, leaving Sigfried a blabbling mess behind. Cut to interior bathroom, same time. Ted enters the bathroom, which appears shaken by an earthquake. Towels and wet clothes are all over the place. An evening gown is flushed halfway down the toilet, and pills are everywhere. Sigfried is shouting from the other room to hurry. Ted checks the cabinet, searching for a bottle marked nitro. No luck. Ted spots a small window set above the toilet. He figures this is the best chance he's got to make a break. Ted goes for it. He manages to get his head and one arm through the window before he gets stuck. His legs dangle in the bathroom, struggling as he may can only hit the toilet bowl lever, which sends a loud flush sound throughout the apartment.
It's no time to take a leak, Teddy. I'm fucking dying here.
Exterior bathroom window night. Outside the window, Ted's in another world. He's almost safe. It's a strange feeling, kind of like bathing in warm water in paradise, knowing a huge shark is ready to rip his ass off. You can see the flickering red glow light from the witch's room from the floor below. Exterior bathroom window and below night. Ted sees Eva bopping naked past the window. He shouts her name out to no avail. The music drowns out his voice and they ignore his calls for help. The blood rushes to his head. He lets himself hang there for a moment. He wonders how many other people have found themselves in situations like this before him. Probably everyone. Right next to him, Ted faces a bloody handprint. It's not his blood. Exterior bathroom window and above night. Ted hears the sound from above and twists himself around, spotting a young man previously seen as the Yuppie scumbag on the phone, leaning out the window directly above him. After a quick moment of sizing him up, Ted gathers himself.
Hi.
No answer. Something's wrong with the guy. All the blood is drained from his face and he's mumbling something.
Listen, I'm stuck here in a situation that I can't even begin to explain. Would you be so kind as to get help? Would you call the police, please?
Silence.
You okay?
The young man manages to belt out the word ice just before hurling a mouthful of vomit towards Ted. It takes all of Ted's strength to dodge the puke, pull himself back into the bathroom. He falls on the floor. He props himself up to check for damage. He notices something odd. The room is silent. No Sigfried. He walks into the bedroom. Cut to interior hotel bedroom. Moments later, Ted looks around the still room. No one's there.
Siegfried?
He heads towards the door, and from out of the corner of his eye, he spots Sigfried's hairy leg. Sigfried has passed out on the floor. Angela's chair has been knocked onto his side. Ted races over to help lift her back up. He pulls the gag from her mouth. Angela jumps all over him.
Where's the fucking nitro?
Couldn't find it.
You took long enough. Untie me for Christ's sake. You fucking upset him and he's dying.
Ted struggles to untie Angela.
Oh, you wanted to kill him.
You'd make a great cup, Theodore.
The knots are all over the place and a real bitch to untie.
I can't out of this alone. I better get help.
Ted turns on a dime and runs smack into Sigfried, who's been taking in the whole conversation.
I tie a pretty good knot, don't I, Ted?
Sigfried, thank God you're okay!
I never felt better.
Angela hears Sigfried's voice from behind her back.
Oh, you bastard.
Come on, honey, don't get mad. It was just a little test, and I'm glad I did it, because now I'll know forever that you really do love me, truly and deeply.
If the simple fact that I didn't want your bloated dead body lying on the floor is love, then no wonder we find ourselves at this where we are at this very fucking moment.
Oh, no. I heard you, and there was genuine care in that voice. Can't be denied, can it, Ted?
I think you're right. And if you just keep this kind of open dialogue going, you'll go a long way to resolving this misunderstanding.
Ted edges his way towards the door.
You'd be surprised what happens when people just listen to each other without succumbing to all that pain and anger.
You heard shit, monkey boy. Easy for you to say after you fuck another man's wife. You should at least have the guts to stand by your convictions.
Siegfried turns an icy eye on Ted, who is giving all hope of ever getting out of the room.
That's a lie, Siegfried. I swear to God.
Angela continues her tirade.
When I think of all the times you were inside me, promising me a better life, it makes me want to puke.
Siegfried slowly raises his gun, pointing it directly at Ted's chest.
Why are you doing this? What have I ever done to you people?
What didn't you do, stick man? Unfortunately, you don't have the balls to back up the actions of your huge cock.
The words hit Siegfried like bullets to the chest. His legs weaken.
He's got a huge cock?
She's lying again, sir. It's not that big.
Show it to me.
Oh, come on, man. She's lying. Can't you see she's fucking with you?
Put it this way. God made up for what he did to Gumby with Ted here.
Show it to me.
Show him your cock, Theodore.
Siegfried runs over to Angela and kneels in front of her.
Stop talking about his cock, will you?
Oh, it's hard to stop talking about something so huge. I could go on and on about his cock, bone, knob, bishop, wang, thang, hot rod, humpmobile, Oscar, dong, dagger, banana, cucumber, salami, sausage, kielbasa, schlong, dink, tool, big Ben, Mr. Happy, prick, dick, pecker, Peter, peepee, wee-wee, wiener, pisser, pistol, joint, hose, horn, middle leg, third leg, meat stick, joystick, dipstick.
Angela is on a roll. She fires the words at Siegfried, hitting him point blank. He staggers. He pleads with her to stop, covering his ears. Ted watches the man crumble.
Junior, the little head, little guy, rumple foreskin, tootsie roll, snake, one-eyed monster, one-eyed wonder, shaft, sword, meat whistle, skin flute, love muscle, roto-rooter, instrument, banger, rammer, ramrod, cherry picker, log, pole.
Siegfried tries jamming the sock back into her mouth to stop the flow. She manages to give him a fuck of a bite in the process. Meanwhile, Ted figures this is the moment to make a move and bolts for the door, only to be tackled by Siegfried at the 1-yard line. After a struggle, the two men rest on the floor, catching their breaths in a relaxed embrace.
Please, don't leave me. I'll call you Ted from now on.
It's not me, Miss Joshua.
Personally, I don't give a fuck, Ted. It's just I don't want to be alone right now. I'm feeling a little vulnerable.
Siegfried heaves the gun over his shoulder, grabs a half-empty bottle of Jack Daniels and passes it to Ted, who takes a hit.
No guns, okay? Just you and me, Ted. You know, my father used to say that forgiveness is the only thing that evil can't sink its teeth into.
That's beautiful.
It's kind of nice down here on the floor, isn't it, Ted?
Yes, actually.
Things take on a whole new perspective. You'd like my trust, wouldn't you, Ted?
Yes, I would.
I just got one thing to ask you, and I'll let you go.
Okay. Okay.
Tell me straight now.
What?
What was it like?
What was what like?
You know, you and her.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Siegfried, what do you want me to say?
Either way, you're fucked, right? You ever gonna see her again, Theodore?
If I was here again, I'd run the other way.
Promise?
I promise.
Sigfried releases Ted and stands up.
You're lying, but I can respect that, Ted. If you told me, it would no longer be a secret. And secrets have a power, kid. You open that box and they disappear forever. A bad secret will rip you apart, but the good ones are all you got. In the end, when all the people you knew are dead and gone, all you'll have left are your secrets. And when you die, the box is open and it all blows away, dust to dust. All the anger, jealousy, desire, and love just blows away.
Sigfried throws his hand out to help Ted up.
So you know what I say? Let's call it a truce, kiddo.
Sigfried takes Ted by the hand and leans him to an open window. Ted is overcome by the sweetness in Sigfried's voice and follows him to the window willingly. The two men look out into the dark Los Angeles night.
I'm a man of love, Theodore. Love is all I live for.
I can see that.
Maybe to a fault.
Oh, don't beat yourself up over it.
It's nice of you to say, Ted, but I probably should make a clean break of it, cut it loose and get my own place. I just can't imagine living without her. Do you think I should seek professional help?
It's not for everyone, but maybe in your case it could help.
You ever been out on the ocean at night?
Ted shakes his head.
I have. Scary as a motherfucker. All that darkness around you. It's like a big black carpet rolled out as far as the eye can see. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll see a light. It could be as small as a little spark, but it will cut a path straight through all that blackness, straight to you. It could be another boat or some distant fire on an island, but that light will shed a shining path of diamonds, cutting through mile after mile of darkness to lie at your feet. That's love, Ted. It's like a path of light in an ocean of darkness.
Ted and Sigfried stare out the window in peace, transfixed by the glimmering lights of the city. A loud shot rings out, shattering the still moment. The two men spin around. Angela stands there with a smoking gun hanging at her side. Sigfried drops to his knees. Ted checks him out. No blood. Angela has fired the gun into the floor below. Ted looks up at Angela. Angela opens the chamber of the pistol and hands the bullets to Ted.
Better go check and see if I killed anybody downstairs.
Sigfried is bent over, silently weeping on the floor.
You people gonna be okay?
Angela sits next to Sigfried and gently strokes his back.
We're fine, Ted.
Ted points to a tray with a half-eaten food on it.
Would you like me to?
Another time, Ted.
Okay.
Ted slowly walks towards the door and makes one last look at the strange couple at the rest of the corner of the room before closing the door behind him. Cut to interior hallway moments later. Ted walks down the hallway, lost in thought. An energetic young guy with a bouquet of flowers plows into him.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year.
I was just in room 404. What a party. You know where room 409 is at?
It beats me, it's around here somewhere.
The guy takes off in the direction Ted's walking from. Ted suddenly realizes who the guy is and whips around, shouting to the young guy.
Hey, what's your name?
The door slams on room 409. Fade out and fade to black. Room 716, the misbehaviors. Fade up, the front desk. Super 10:30 p.m. Ted is relaxing at the front desk. He breathes slowly. He finally has one moment's peace after an already long night. He even has a chance to straighten his tie. The phone rings.
Front desk.
Cut to room 716, close-up of a cigarette hanging out of a man's mouth as he speaks into the telephone.
Bottle of Moet Chandon. Fast.
Man hangs up the phone and stubs out a cigarette into an already overstuffed ashtray by the bed. Man turns around to face the camera. He is a dark and handsome Latin man in his mid-30s, dangerous, impatient. He walks towards the camera as he continues straightening his tie. He stops at the door of the bathroom and watches his wife and two kids get ready for the party. Wife seems to be a beautiful woman in her mid-30s. The children are Sarah, 9, and Juancho, 6. Man strikes up another cigarette and finishes his tie. He watches his wife comb Juancho's hair down to the side like an idiot. Not being able to stand it anymore, man tears Juancho away from his wife and snatches the comb.
Give me that.
Man begins to slick Juancho's hair back.
There. See? You look cool with your hair up like this. like me.
Juancho is smiling now. He's happy he's going to look like his dad.
Not down and to the side, all stupid like your mom likes to comb it.
Juancho looks over at Sarah, who's going through the torturous ritual of having her mother brush the tangles out of her long, unmanageable hair. Wife seems to be taking out her aggressions on the tangled mess. Man is starting to have problems of his own with Juancho's hair. Juancho's hair is thinner than Man's, so it won't stay up. Man puts down his cigarette in order to get a better handle on it. We see the frustration growing in his face. Juancho picks up the cigarette and pretends he's smoking it too, just like his dad. Man tears the cigarette away from Juancho and smokes it down to the filter. He looks at his own cool hair and then down at Juancho's, which won't stay up. Man flicks the cigarette butt into the toilet in frustration.
You've got your mother's hair.
In anger, Man starts messing up Juancho's hair.
I can't do anything with it.
Furious, Man simply swipes Juancho's hair back down into the side the way the wife had it before. Juancho looks like an idiot again.
There, go.
Juancho slouches past everyone as he exits the bathroom. Sarah watches him leave as her own hair is finished.
There, go.
Sarah exits. Wife then finishes her own gorgeous hair. Man lights up a new cigarette.
So, are we gonna have fun tonight?
Man blows smoke in wife's face as he walks out the bathroom.
And I didn't think so.
Sarah has joined Juancho and watching television. Man watches the children watch TV. He can see the wheels turning in Man's head. He turns back to the bathroom. He watches wife now. Wheels turning, practically burning rubber.
Hey.
Wife puts the lipstick down and turns to her husband. She is beautiful.
Let's just leave the kids here.
Wife glances out at the children, eyes glued to the tube.
Here in the room? By themselves?
No. With the television.
Wife thinks about it for a second. She shrugs. Sure.
You want to have fun tonight, don't you?
Yes.
They'll be fine.
He kisses wife's face and exits the bathroom. She covers the wet spot with more cake makeup.
Hey.
The children turn to face him.
You guys are going to stay here and watch TV?
The children look at each other.
I want you to be in bed before 12. Your mother and I will be back later on.
Wife goes straight for the door.
Okay?
He blows one kiss, one for both of them. As Man and his wife walks out the door, Man turns back to the children.
Don't misbehave.
He closes the door. Sarah stands in the middle of the room. She's looking at the door Man and wife just disappeared through, stunned. Her dress looks frilly and beautifully uncomfortable. She touches the edge of the fabric.
Why do we have to get all dressed up if we weren't going with them?
Cut to interior hallway. Man and wife are walking down the hall. Man stops in his tracks. Wife stops too and looks at Man. They wait. Cut to room 716. Juancho shuts off the TV. He drops the remote to the floor. His attention is on the fireworks outside. He leaps to the window and begins unlatching it.
What are you doing?
Escaping. Stinks in here anyway.
Man bursts through the door of the hotel room and stands in the doorway glaring at the mischievous Juancho. Juancho bangs his head on the window trying to get back inside. He leaps to the floor and tries to turn on the TV with the remote.
What did I say?
Juancho turns to Man as if he'd been sitting there watching television the whole time.
Behave.
Yes, Papa.
Ted appears at the door with Man's champagne.
The champagne you ordered, sir.
No time for this. Leave it on ice.
Ted proceeds to place the champagne in the room.
But I want some now.
Ted is torn. Man pushes him into the room.
There will be plenty for you at the party, baby. You can bomb yourself all you want at the party.
What a waste.
Ted places the bucket near the bed. After setting up the bottle, he turns to leave, but now Man closes the door, trapping Ted inside with them.
Hey.
Ted looks around bewildered. Now what? Man is reaching into his coat pocket.
You want $500?
Cool.
Man hesitates a moment, then pulls out his wallet. That was too easy.
How about 3?
300?
Yeah.
3's good.
My children are going to stay here tonight watching TV. I want you to check on them every 30 minutes.
Check up on them.
Make sure they're all right. Make sure they're fed. Make sure they go to bed.
We can call out and hire a babysitter.
I don't trust the babysitters. My children are safer alone with some fucked up pedophile babysitter I don't know from the man in the fucking moon.
What about him? What makes you think you can trust him?
Man grabs Ted's face and tilts it towards wife.
Tell me that's not a face you can trust.
Man lets go of Ted's face. He feels his jaw. It's still there.
Look, sir, I'd like to help you out, but I really can't. So you're all alone here tonight.
Man whips out his wallet and counts out money in Ted's face.
100. 200. 300.
Thought you said 500.
Man glares at Ted.
I said 300.
Ted doesn't back down.
No, you distinctly said 500.
The angrier man gets, the quieter he talks.
Are you calling me a liar?
Ted, while not backing down, massages the situation.
No, I'm not saying you're lying. What I'm saying is you accidentally forgot what the first thing you said was 500.
Man has never been challenged like this by a fucking bellboy.
I don't do anything accidentally. Jerk. I might have first said 500, but what I last said was 300. And what you say last is what counts.
Ted not only doesn't back down, but psychologically pokes his finger in the scary man's chest.
Well, if you say 500 one last time, we've got a deal.
Man's eyes narrow. He physically pokes his finger in Ted's chest.
You fucking with me, pendejo?
Now Ted takes a step backwards.
No, not at all. It's New Year's Eve and I'm here alone. If there was somebody else here, no problem, but I'm by myself. And looking after your kids is a pain in the ass I don't need.
You calling my kids a pain in the ass?
No, they're not a pain in the ass. It's the situation that's a pain in the ass.
Man drops the tenseness.
No, you were right the first time. You win, tough guy. 500.
Man respects Ted for not backing down, but not insulting him either. A skill man never learned. Wife shoots a look at the children.
You kids are getting expensive.
Juancho turns back to the TV. Sarah stares down wife.
What's your name? Ted?
Close up, a name tag.
Yeah, it's Ted.
Man tears off Ted's name tag and throws it to the children.
His name is Ted. If you need anything, dial 0. Ask for Ted.
Sarah catches the name tag and reads the name on it. Ted, bellhop. Sarah looks up at Ted. She clips the pin to her dress and smiles shyly at him. Man puts the money in Ted's pocket, then grabs his ear, pulling him close.
If something happens to my children, I wouldn't want to be you.
Make sure they're in bed before midnight.
Before midnight? Then should I wake them up for the countdown to the new year?
Wife looks disgusted.
No.
As man and wife exit, he turns to the kids and says,
Don't misbehave.
Man closes the door. Interior hallway. Man and wife book it down the hall before Ted can change his mind. Room 716. Ted is standing facing the door the man and the wife just disappeared through. He turns around slowly to face the children. His eyes are wide. His face is quiet, stern. The children are staring at him.
Okay. These are the rules. Don't break the rules and I won't break your necks.
The kids look at each other.
I just wanted to say that. Someone said it to me when I was a kid.
Sarah laughs at his joke.
Except they were joking. I'm not.
Ted goes to the door.
The rules are simple. Don't do anything you wouldn't do if your parents were here. If there's an emergency, call me on the phone just like your dad said.
That's not what he said.
Ted's surprised by a challenge this early in the game.
He said to call if we need anything.
Well, I've got a lot of work to do, and I can't have you calling me every time you want a drink of water, so please limit your call to emergencies only.
We paid you $500. We'll call you if you need anything. You don't want to upset my dad.
Okay. Please, try to call only when necessary. Watch TV, and if you're good, I'll bring you up some milk and cookies. Bye.
Ted leaves. Cut to interior hallway. Ted walks briskly down the hallway, counting his money the whole way. Cut to interior room 716. Juancho takes off his socks and shoes and throws them onto the floor. Sarah looks at the discarded shoes and socks. Close on the shoes and socks. Sarah looks over at Juancho's bare feet. Her nose twitches.
Your feet stink.
Juancho smells his feet.
They don't stink.
Sarah throws his shoes and socks behind her. They land on the bed. Juancho is flipping channels and finds an interesting show.
Check it out, TNA.
Sarah realizes he found a nudie station.
Change it. You're not supposed to watch this.
We're supposed to watch TV.
Not this kind of TV. Change it.
Juancho rolls up into a ball, the remote tucked in some recess of his stomach. Sarah hits him, then goes to the phone. She punches 0, sits on the bed, and checks the name of the tag pinned to her shirt. Cut to front desk. Ted walks up to the front desk just as the phone rings.
Front desk?
Interior room 716. Sarah is taking off her white winter tights.
Ted, hi. It's me, Sarah. You're our sitter for tonight?
Jesus, what did I tell you? If I said you don't bother me, you get milk and cookies. Now, do you want them or do you not?
I want you to turn off the nudie station in our room.
Ted checks the computer.
I can't turn on an adult station without permission from your parents.
No. No, not turn it on. Turn it off. It's already on.
That's not what the machine tells me.
Well, stop listening to the machine and listen to me. There's naked ladies dancing on my TV and I want them off.
If you're good, you'll get milk and cookies. So leave me alone, please. I'll be up later to put you both to sleep.
He hangs up. Room 716. Angry, Sarah slams down the phone. She has an unusually dull temper. We know where she gets it from. She looks up and sees the nudies are still in full force.
Change the channel now.
Juancho turns around. He has a face like someone just laid a fart in his nose.
Man, you're the one with the stinky feet.
Sarah smells her feet twice.
Stink.
Yeah, they do.
Here, smell for yourself.
She sticks her foot out for Juancho to smell. He's reluctant, fearful.
Go ahead.
He slowly, very slowly climbs into the bed and lowers his head to her foot. Very slowly. Sarah waits until he's close enough to her foot before she kicks him in the face, sending him somersaulting off the bed and crashing to the floor. She grabs the remote control he left behind and changes the channel to a cartoon. Juancho gets up and realizes his defeat. He decides to wander about, looking for something to do. Sarah tries to ignore him as he stalks the room, only a matter of time before he finds mischief. Juancho sees the champagne bucket and bingo! He goes for the bottle.
Hey, get a bottle opener.
Sarah opens her mouth as if to tell him to leave the champagne alone. She stops herself when she realizes she wants some champagne too. She quickly scrambles about for a bottle opener while Juancho unwraps the bottle top. Sarah opens the dresser drawer with such force that a few hidden contents long forgotten in the back of the drawer slide forward. Some coins, a paperclip, a hypodermic needle. She looks down at the needle that lays beside the Gideon Bible, and casually picks the phone back up and punches 0. The phone rings. Front desk. Ted, buckets of ice in hand, gets ready to go to room 404. As he crosses the desk, the phone rings. He looks at the board and sees room 716 lights blinking. He sighs in exasperation. Interior room 716, Sarah sees Juancho shaking the champagne bottle violently.
Don't shake it. Ted, hi. It's me, Sarah.
Yeah. Who died? No one? Then don't call me.
I thought I'd tell you that your cleaning ladies are doing a bum job. There's all kinds of leftover stuff around here.
Sarah picks up the needle and rolls it over her hand several times.
Needles and things. We're not supposed to have needles here, are we? I mean, they don't come with the room, do they? Like, someone send someone up here to clean this place up, right?
The champagne bottle explodes all over Juancho. He looks surprised.
Told you not to shake it. I gotta go. I just exploded the champagne all over the room. Oh, and bring us a couple toothbrushes. There's a card in the bathroom that says you'll bring free toothbrushes if we ask for them.
She hangs up. A frustrated Ted hangs up the phone. He walks briskly to the elevator. Sarah and Juancho are pouring themselves champagne. They turn up the television and drink. Juancho shudders at the taste, but tries to drink as much as Sarah. Sarah clearly doesn't like it, but tries to pretend she does. Sarah picks up an instruction card near the phone to see how to make room-to-room calls.
Ooh, I'm calling another room. Give me 3 numbers.
Sarah
Four-
punches.
Oh,
Sorry.
very good. 409.
Sarah punches in the room number. The phone rings. She holds the needle up to the light to examine it.
Oh, hello? Hi, you don't know me and I don't know you, but God, do you have any needles? We've got needles here, and I was wondering if they come in with the room or not. Don't have any? Thanks for just checking.
She hangs up. Juancho puts down his champagne glass and searches for his father's coat pocket. He finds a pack of cigarettes and takes one out. He puts it in his mouth and pretends to smoke. Sarah checks out the hypodermic needle carefully. She has an idea. Montage. In the bathroom, Sarah seeks out her mother's lipstick. Room 716. Sarah stands atop the chest of drawers and uses a lipstick to draw a bullseye on one of the hotel art paintings. She writes numbers next to each circle representing points. Juancho is standing at the foot of the bed, cigarette hanging out of his mouth as he practices his dart throwing technique.
All right, the center is bullseye, 100 points. This one's 10 points. This one's 20 points.
Whack! The needle lands an inch from her face in a 20-point shot.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me get out of the way.
Sarah, a little tipsy now, grabs the needle and staggers to the bed. She hears the key to the doorway and throws the needle into the curtain to hide it. Ted enters the room, somewhat disheveled from his encounter with Sigfried. He has a tray and a new bottle of champagne. He puts the champagne bottle into an empty bucket. He spots the original bottle laying on the floor, half empty and dripping into the carpet.
Brought you some milk and cookies. If you want them, you'll have to eat them now because you're going to sleep.
Sleep now.
Your parents had to put you in bed before midnight. Well, it's before midnight. Maybe that way you'll leave me alone.
These aren't milk and cookies.
We're out of cookies, so I brought you milk and saltines. Don't complain, just hurry up and eat. You're going to bed right now.
Juancho bites into a saltine. Sarah simply examines one.
These are old.
They're stale.
Dip them in the milk! Milk will make them soft.
Sarah gives up and throws the crackers back on the tray. She's a little drunk. Ted picks up the ruined champagne bottle. Juancho dips his crackers and eats them. He makes a face and drops a soggy cracker into the tray.
No crackers? Okay, fine. Sleepy time. Now, I don't want you guys wandering around, so if you need to go to the restroom, go now.
They go to the bathroom. Ted sits on the bed, waits. He sees the painting on the wall, but can't figure out what's different about it. The red lipstick blends right into the aesthetic value of the painting. Ted smells something funny. He looks down and sees the socks on the bed. He grabs a fork from the tray and uses it to throw the socks across the room. The kids come back out.
What about our pajamas?
You want to look nice in case there's an earthquake, don't you?
The children nod.
Okay, then stay in those clothes.
The kids lie on the bed. Sarah notices a jar of mentholium ointment on the dinner tray.
What's that?
Oh, this is just some mentholatum ointment. Come on, under the covers, close your eyes, and I'll tell you a story.
The children close their eyes. Ted opens the jar of ointment and sniffs it. Strong stuff by the look of it on his face.
Your dad doesn't trust babysitters. Well, can't say I blame him, really. You know, my babysitter did to me once.
The
I never
children
told
lie in
my
the bed.
parents either.
I'm sorry. The children lie in the bed, eyes closed, listening intently. Ted dips his finger in the jar of vaporous ointment.
I hated going to sleep. You know, it's night time, I'm going to run around and act crazy. So my babysitter did, to make sure I'd go to sleep and not be tempted to get up, was to take some of this vapor rub stuff. Can you smell this?
Eyes closed. The kids inhale. They smell the ointment and nod yes.
she would just dab a little of this over each eyelid so that I would be sure to keep my eyes closed all night.
Ted is spreading the ointment over their eyelids as he says this.
There. Now you've got some too. Don't open your eyes or it'll burn. The smell helps clear your sinuses too, so it's doing double duty.
What happens when it's morning?
If you keep your eyes closed all night, it'll wear off by morning. But don't open your eyes before then.
Did you ever open your eyes?
Extreme close-up on Ted's eyes.
Yes, I did.
The children are quiet.
And now look at me.
I can't.
Good. You do just fine, sleep well, and I won't tell your parents about the champagne.
Ted leaves. Cut to after a moment of darkness. After a moment of darkness, the night is disturbed by the loud crashing of fireworks outside the window. Sarah sits up, eyes closed. Her face feels the warmth coming from the window, and she tilts her head towards it. The light of the firework dances its reflection off her face. She inhales deeply, then makes a sour face. She goes to the bathroom, arms outstretched like a blind girl. She gets to the bathroom, turns on the light, and searches for the sink. She begins to wash the ointment off her eyes very carefully. She dries her eyes thoroughly and opens them. Checks them in the mirror. A little red, but otherwise fine. She goes back to the bedroom, turns on the television, and grabs the new champagne bottle. She shakes it violently. Juancho wakes up. He turns his head to her. His eyes are still closed.
Are you watching TV?
The champagne bottle explodes. She pours herself a glass.
Yep. If you want to watch too, you have to go wash your face.
Juancho gets up smiling and tries to run to the bathroom. He slams into the wall. Hard.
Be careful.
Juancho walks into the bathroom a little slower, more cautious. Sarah pours herself another glass. She downs the glass and shudders. She smells the bad smell again. Not only is she really smells it, she smells her feet. Nothing. She smells the champagne. Nothing. Juancho enters the room and sits on the bed. Sarah grabs his foot and smells it. She drops his foot. Juancho stares blankly at her. Sarah looks down at the mattress. She smells the mattress. Juancho looks at her as if she's drunk. Sarah leaps off the bed and turns on the room lights. She takes a huge swig of the champagne bottle, then stalks towards the mattress. Juancho leaps off the bed as well and stands back. Sarah pulls the mattress off the bed springs enough to see what's underneath. Juancho screams. Sarah, too, is too stunned to scream. Stuffed into the bed springs is a woman's dead and beaten corpse. Cut to close on Ted's phone ringing. Ted looks at the phone as if pondering whether or not to answer it. He taps his fingers. Finally, he answers the phone. Room 716.
Ted!
What do you want now, for Christ's sake? Who died?
I don't know, but she's in my bed.
What?
There's a dead body in my bed.
That's just your brother, sound asleep.
No, there's a woman's dead body inside the bed, in the mattress.
You saw the body?
Yes.
Impossible! You've got the ointment on your eyes. You can't see shit. Now go to sleep.
Ted hangs up the phone. Sarah redials. Ted answers.
Oh, damn it, go to sleep.
I washed it off.
You washed it off?
Did you ever think to do that?
Ted is quiet on the line, thinking. Juancho lights up a cigarette for real and takes nervous puffs. Sarah carries the phone over to Juancho and snatches the cigarette away from him. She stuffs it in her own mouth and nervously takes a long drag on it.
You never tried it, did you? Then you agree I'm smarter than you.
All right, now listen to me.
Get your ass up here and call the police because there's a dead body in my bed and it smells like shit and it looks even worse. If you don't help us, my dad is going to lay you down right next to her. Swear to fucking God.
She drinks from her champagne bottle. She's pulling the mattress back over the corpse again.
Go, sis.
She's drunk, all right.
I'm coming up there. And if there isn't a dead body by the time I get there, I'm gonna make one. You!
Front desk. Ted slams down the phone. As he walks away from the counter, he spots the children's parents driving up to the valet out front.
Shit!
Ted breaks into a sprint and dives into a closing elevator. Cut to room 716. Sarah continues to cover the body with the mattress. Elevator, close on Ted's face as the elevator car races up 7 floors. Lobby, the man is carrying his drunk wife through the lobby. Not happy. Room 716. Ted bursts into the room. He sees the disarray. Ted pushes the champagne out of Sarah's hand, spilling it onto the floor. He sees Juancho with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth and rips it away from him. The butt goes flying into the carpet near the spreading champagne spill.
Parents are on their way up, and I am not taking responsibility for this mess.
Get under the mattress. Can't you smell it?
Sarah grabs the mattress and pulls it off herself. Ted sees the rotting corpse. Vomit spews out of Ted's mouth. He tears at the phone.
Police! It's an emergency! Hello, police! This is the Monsignor Hotel! Get someone up here right fucking now because there's a dead whole stuffed under the mattress!
Tears well up in Sarah's eyes as she looks at the body.
Don't call her that.
God, dead fucking serious! There's a dead fucking hole stuffed in the bed springs of the fucking bed!
Stop calling her that.
Sarah grabs the hypodermic needle from under the curtain and stabs it into Ted's leg.
Fuck!
Sarah steps back, almost tripping over the champagne bottle. She picks up the bottle and holds it defensively in case Ted tries to retaliate. Ted spins around, now noticing the needle sticking out of his leg.
Jesus!
Juancho lights up another cigarette. The champagne spill has spread to the fallen cigarette butt. The carpet bursts into flames around the spill. Cut outside to exterior room 716, close on a key going into the keyhole outside. Back to room 716. Ted tries to pull the syringe out of his leg, but yanking it makes it break into 2. The plunger in his hand and the needle still stuck in his leg. Ted staggers and grabs hold of the dead woman's foot for support as he steps on the remote control, flipping on the TV to the nudie channel. Just as to the nudie channel, then down to the fire blazing behind the children, pan up to the dripping champagne bottle in Sarah's hand, then over to the cigarette hanging out of Juancho's mouth. Juancho tosses his cigarette out of his mouth to an area behind him. Another blaze starts immediately. Man drops his wife to the floor. On the wide shot of Ted and the children, we see the fireworks are bursting big and bright outside the window behind them, almost as bright as the flames eating through the room. Man simply glares at Ted. Finally, Man speaks.
So, did they misbehave?
Ted stares blankly at Man, the camera as the sprinklers burst on, drenching the room as the picture fades to black. 4 rooms. Fade up on interior hotel lobby night. Super 1 minute after Robert's story. 20 minutes before dawn. The elevator rides down to the lobby. The doors open and a wet, disheveled, and frantic Ted steps out. He staggers across the lobby to the reception desk. He grabs the phone. Interior Betty's apartment almost dawn. The wild New Year's Eve party is winding down. Some guests are all passed out. Some are asleep. Some are making out. 2 guys are playing Nintendo. A girl watches them. The phone rings. The girl who wears a Guinness stout t-shirt answers the phone.
Happy New Year.
Back to Ted, back and forth.
Let me speak to Betty.
Party's over. She probably went home.
Party's over. She probably went home.
She lives there.
Oh, well. I haven't seen them in a while.
Do you even know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know him. I know Eddie.
Betty, not Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Betty too. Tall.
Not particularly. She's got curly red hair.
No, 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 no. I know. Japanese girl.
She's not Japanese. I just said she had red hair.
Yeah, I know her.
Well, get her on the phone. It's an emergency.
Who? Who should I say is calling?
Tell him Teddy from work is on the phone, and it's a major fucking emergency.
Gotcha. Betty from work.
Not Betty from work. I'm calling Betty. I'm Teddy. Just say Ted.
Hi, Ted. I'm Margaret. You sound down. Has this not been the happiest of New Year's?
No, Margaret, this hasn't been my best New Year. The year's actually starting off pretty badly.
Aw, how come?
Well, Betty, the chick whose house you're at, even though you don't know her, leaves me here all by myself on New Year's Eve. And the first thing, right off the bat, I'm fucked by a coven of witches.
An oven full of witches fucked you? Is that like the circus when they stick all those clowns in an itty bitty car?
Coven of witches. Well, one witch in particular.
Oh, was she all hag with a mole with the hair growing out of it?
No. She was quite beautiful.
Margaret thinks for a moment. Ted?
Yes?
What's the problem?
Well, admittedly, that was the best part of the night. Pretty fucking cool, actually. But still, an unnerving way to start off the night.
Oh, that sounds like a pretty great way to start off the night.
Okay, let's just skip over the witches.
Skipping over the witches.
So, later, in another room, some crazy fucking maniac sticks a gun in my face and forces me to play out some psychosexual drama with his wife.
He made you have psycho sex with his wife?
No, he didn't let me fuck his wife. He thought I'd fucked his wife. He held me at gunpoint with a loaded gun.
What kind of gun?
I don't know, not a gun guy. It was big.
Like Dirty Harry's gun?
Yeah, something like that.
Did it have a really long barrel or a short barrel?
What difference does it make?
Well, for one thing, the difference between a 44 Magnum and a Magnum 357.
Who cares if it was a 44 or a 392? It's a fucking loaded gun pointed at my fucking head.
Margaret takes this in. You want to skip over this part too?
I want you to get Betty on the phone.
Hold on. Anybody live here named... What's her name again?
Betty.
Betty! The sleepy room stirs. Betty wakes up from the floor.
Yeah, what you screaming about?
Oh, you're a Betty?
I'm Betty. It's my fucking place. Who the fuck are you?
I'm Margaret. This is Ted. Betty takes the phone.
Ted, what's the problem?
What's the problem? I don't got a problem. I got fucking problems. Plural. You want to hear?
Sure.
Well, most recently, there's room 716. There's a scary Mexican gangster dude poking his finger in my chest. There's this hooligan kid snapping their fingers at me. There's a putrid, rotten corpse of a dead horse stuffed in the springs of the bed. There's rooms blazing afire. There's a needle from God knows where stuck in my leg, infecting me with God knows what. And finally, there's me walking out the fucking door right now. Buenas noches.
A ringing sound happens that we haven't heard before. Ted's head turns towards it. It's the guest board. And the top lights, the penthouse is ringing. It rings all the other, but it rings where all the others buzzed. Betty can hear it distinctly on her side of the line. The sound fully wakes her up. They start talking Howard Hawks style again.
Is that the penthouse?
Yeah.
That's the Cheshire Rush party. They want something.
Yeah, well, tough titty. They're just going to have to wait because I'm out the door.
Now, Ted, wait a minute. I know you're freaked. I know you're stressed. You have a real bad night.
Oh, yes, Betty, I've had a real bad night.
You said there's a dead body in a room.
Yes, I did.
Oh, no problem. This is a hotel. We've had dead bodies before. It's just the price of doing business. You said the hotel is on fire. Is it still on fire?
No, it's out.
Oh, good. Sprinkler system worked like a charm. Now, you want to leave? You've had enough. Perfectly understandable. I'll take care of everything else. The only thing I ask is that you take care of Chester Rush. Then you can leave.
Now look.
Ted, he's a very important guest of this hotel. In fact, he is the most important guest of this hotel. The Monsignor used to be a haven for movie stars. Through the 30s and 40s and the first half of the 50s, more movie stars, if you break it down night by night basis, stayed at the Monsignor more than any other hotel in Hollywood. Now, we've had some hard time in the 80s, even though we were the official hotel of Canon Pictures, but we're coming back strong in the 90s, and the movie star clientele is important to that comeback, and if we keep the stars of this magnitude happy, we're on our way. So, Ted, just take care of him, and then you can leave.
Look, I don't feel like...
He probably just wants champagne. You can do that, can't you? Please, just take care of him. The entire stuff the Monsignor is begging you.
Ted crumbles.
Okay. But you get your ass here, pronto!
Oof, you are a good man, Ted. Thanks.
Ted hangs up the phone and picks up the board phone.
Hello, Mr. Rush. Sorry for the delay. How can I help you?
Fade to black. The penthouse. The man from Hollywood. Exterior hallway to penthouse night. The elevator door opens and Ted wheels out his tray into the hallway. There's been a bit of effort to make himself appear a little less disheveled than the last scene. He's only minorly successful in the attempt. His uniform still looks like shit. His hair looks tousled, and he walks with a limp. He wheels the cart up to the penthouse door and knocks at the door. A woman opens the door. It's Angela from Alex's story.
Hi, Theodore.
What are you doing here?
She holds up
Having
a
a
drink.
drink.
Is that crazy husband of yours in here?
Are you kidding? He'll be asleep till Christmas.
From behind her, we hear,
Entree.
Angela steps aside and Ted wheels in the tray. Interior penthouse night. The penthouse is a huge, far and away the best suite in the house. And standing in the middle of the biggest room in the hotel is the hottest, newest comedy star to burst into Hollywood scene in nearly a decade. Chester Rush. At this moment in time, he's the king, and he has the swagger of a new king. After only one movie, he pulled the sword out of the stone, and the look on his face says, King's good. Surrounding him is his entourage. They all look like once upon a time. This evening, they were dressed sharp. However, at this late hour, everyone looks about as disheveled as Ted. One of the lads, Norman, has planted roots in a comfy chair with his leg thrown over the arm and a bottle of Jim Beam in his hand. The second guy, Leo, is in the back of the room, pacing back and forth on the telephone. He is completely oblivious to the rest of the room's activities. In Chester's hand is an ever-present glass of champagne, which he constantly spills as he gestures wildly. Around the room are leftovers, pizza boxes, fast food hamburgers, and empty bottles of crystal champagne.
Entry. Come in.
Hi, sorry I took so long, but I got everything you've asked for.
Oh, not a problem, my friend, Mr. Bellboy.
His name's Theodore.
Actually, it's not Theodore. It's Ted.
Chester rises from the couch.
So, Ted the Bellboy. So, I was saying, would you care for some champagne? That's not what I was saying. He would, but would you care for some champagne?
No, thank you.
You sure? It's crystal. It's the best. I never liked champagne before. I had crystal. Now I love it.
Okay, yeah, sure.
As Chester goes and pours Ted a glass.
As I was saying, Ted, don't worry about being late. For our purposes, promptness is far behind thoroughness.
On thoroughness, he hands Ted the glass.
Chin chin.
They clink glasses and drink.
What do you say, Ted?
Thank you.
No, not thank you. What do you say about the tasty beverage?
It's good.
Fucking good, Ted. It's fucking good. Let's try it again, shall we? So, Ted, what do you think about the beverage?
It's fucking good, sir.
You bet your sweet bippy, Ted. It's fucking Crystal. Everything else is piss.
Norman in the chair starts yelling at Ted.
Bellboy, bellboy, bellboy.
Ted knows he's being laughed at, but not why.
Knock it off. You're making my friend Ted here uneasy. Pay no attention to Norman here, Ted. He's fucking witchy. That's all. That's from Quadrophenia. Now, myself, when I think of bellboys, I think of bellboy isn't an insult, is it? Is there another name for what you do I'm ignorant of? Bellman, bell person?
Bellboy's fine.
Good. I'm glad they haven't changed that. There's a friendliness to bellboy. As I was saying, Ted, when Norman thinks of bellboys, he thinks of Quadrophenia. But when I think of bellboys, I think of the bellboy with Jerry Lewis. Did you ever see the bellboy?
No.
Well, you should. It's one of Jerry's better movies. He never says a word throughout the entire film. A completely silent performance. How many actors can pull that off? And he has to go to France to get respect. That's all. That says it all about America right here. The minute Jerry Lewis dies, every paper in this fucking country is going to write articles calling the man a genius. It's not right. It's not right. And it's not fair. But why should that surprise anybody? When has America ever been fair? We might be right every once in a while, but we're very rarely fair.
Where do you want this?
You and Harry, Ted?
No, not particularly.
Good. Then stop playing beat the clock. Now let me introduce you to everybody.
He puts his arm around Ted and leads him around the room, Angela across his frame, drink in hand.
Our friend from downstairs, you already seem to be acquainted with.
As she snuggles up in the big comfy chair.
Oh, me and Theodore go way back. Don't we, Theodore?
The name's Ted, Angela. I'm gonna let people with loaded guns at my head call me Theodore.
Angela's like you, Ted, a newfound friend.
We met at the pool.
Have you ever seen Angela in one piece?
No.
Well, it's something to see. The man sitting in the chair with the bottle of Jim Beam in his hand with a sense of humor. It's Norman. Norman, say hello to Ted.
Yeah.
Say hello to Ted.
Hello.
Norman shakes his hand.
What's up?
The sociable son of a bitch on the phone is Leo, and the person on the other end of his phone is his lovely wife, Ellen. Leo, say hello to Ted.
Leo breaks away from his phone conversation for 2 seconds.
Hi, Ted. Glad you could make it. What does punctuality have to do with love?
Which brings me to me. Chester Rush, Ted. Pleased to meet you.
Chester shakes Ted's hand.
I know. I'm sorry I haven't seen your movie.
Chester stops. Ted wonders if he should have said that. Chester walks over to the table and pours himself some more champagne. When he talks now, it's slower and somewhat distracted. The tone of scene starts changing.
It's quite all right, Ted. Nothing to feel sorry about. That's why God invented video. But you know, Ted, a lot of people did see it.
Chester takes a drink of champagne. A disgusted look crosses his face, and he slowly puts it down. His manner gives the room a chill. When he talks, he addresses the room.
Who drank out of this bottle last?
No answer. Chester walks over to Ted and fills his glass.
Who drank out of this bottle? Not the other bottles. This bottle last.
What's wrong, Chester?
He spills the champagne from his glass onto the floor.
It's fucking flat, Norman. That's what's wrong. The champagne, the fucking crystal's fucking flat.
Chester improvises a temper tantrum about the flat crystal. Everyone looks at him, not knowing what to say. Even Leo walks over to witness. The whole room is uneasy and a little frightened. When Chester finishes his tantrum, he turns his attention back to Ted. As he talks to him, he opens up another bottle, but it's not the rapid-paced delivery Chester has done so far. It's more troubled and distracted.
I was saying, Ted, a lot of people did see it, and not just on video either. Leo, what was the final take on Domestic?
Leo is still in the doorway, making sure his boy's cool.
72.1 million. You okay, champ?
I'm cold, so talk to your wife.
Leo turns his attention back to the phone and goes inside the room.
$72.1 million. That's before video and before phone and before pay TV and before TV. We're talking fucking asses and fucking seats. Before all that other shit, the wacky detective made $72.1 million.
Chester walks over to Ted and fills his glass.
And my new one, the dog catcher, is projected to break 100. The dog catcher.
The dog catcher.
They both drink. The tantrum's over and Chester's back to his fast-talking, good-natured self.
Now let's stroll over here and see what goodies you brought us.
Do you mind me asking what all this stuff is for?
One thing at a time, Ted. It's not a frog, and you're not a bunny, so let's not hop ahead. Come on, Norman. You should be interested in this.
Damn, Skippy. Tell it.
Ted produces the things they called for.
A block of wood.
Chester knocks on it.
Good.
3 nails.
Why 3 nails?
Somebody Peter Lorre asked for. Continue, Ted.
Ted is completely bewildered.
A roll of twine.
That's definitely a roll of time. Continue.
A bucket of ice.
You into it?
I'm into it.
Go on.
A donut.
Chester takes it and eats it.
That's for me. There you go.
And a hatchet.
A hatchet as sharp as the devil himself is what I asked for.
Well, you be the judge.
Ted holds the hatchet out for Chester to take. Norman snatches it instead.
I'll be the judge.
Norman touches the end of the blade with his thumb.
What do you think?
That's a sharp motherfucker. Bring all the bullshit over to the bar.
You heard him, Ted.
Ted is completely confused and starting to get a little scared, but he does what he's told. Leo slams down the phone.
Bitch!
You still married?
Maybe. Maybe not, but I don't give a flying fuck either way. I've had it with that Machiavellian bitch. I'm too drunk to drive home. I'm sorry about that. I'm real sorry about that. I got drunk on New Year's Eve, cut my fucking head off. What's going on here?
We now... Oh, sorry.
We now return you to The Man from Rio, already in progress.
No, you gonna do it?
Looks like.
You guys ain't bullshitting. You gotta really go for it.
Angela is still curled up.
After talking about it all night, they'd better. I want to see a show.
Well, when we do it, you'll have something to see.
Leo walks up to Norman and throws his arms around him.
You are one radical dude.
Ted doesn't know what everyone's talking about, which is just fine with him. He finishes laying out everything on the bar and says,
Well, that's everything. So if you don't need me for anything else, I'll go back downstairs.
Not so fast, Ted. We ain't quite done yet. Why don't you take a seat at the bar, get comfortable, and have an open mind when we explain the festivities of this evening to you.
Look, guys, you paid for the room. As long as you don't break up the furniture, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And me personally, I don't care if you break up the furniture. You don't have to explain anything to me. Whatever constitutes a good time as far as you guys are concerned is your business.
Well, it's your business, Ted, because we want you to take part.
Take part in what?
Chester, your way of breaking the news to him gently is scaring the shit out of him.
Huh?
Look at the poor guy. Just spit it out.
Little by little, everybody is gathered around Ted.
First off, let me say that there's nothing homosexual about what is going to be asked you to do. There's nothing sexual at all about what we want. But I was thinking, you might be thinking what we wanted you to do, some sex thing. Pee on us, suck us off, shit like that. Let us just show you nothing could be further from what we want.
Can I jump in here?
No, you can't jump in here. It's my fucking story.
Theodore's been here 15 minutes and you've talked about everything but.
Hey, if you don't like it, you can get the fuck out.
Leo taps his champagne glass with a tiny spoon, shutting everybody up.
If it'll please the court, let me explain to Ted our intentions.
I second the nomination.
Move the nomination be closed.
Chester takes the hatchet and brings it down on the bar like a hatchet.
Leo, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Ted, did you ever watch the old Alfred Hitchcock show?
Yeah?
Did you ever see the episode The Man from Rio with Peter Lorre and Steve McQueen?
Don't think so.
Oh, you'd remember it all right. In the show, Peter Lorre makes a bet that Steve McQueen can't light his cigarette lighted 10 times in a row. Now, if Steve McQueen can light his cigarette lighted 10 times in a row, he wins Peter Lorre's new car. If he can't, he loses his little finger. Norman and Chester just made the same bet. Norman's putting up his pinky against Chester's mint convertible, 1964 red convertible Chevy Corvette that he can light his Zippo 10 times in a row.
Pause. Ted looks at all of them, taking in the information before saying,
You guys are drunk.
Well, that goes without saying, but that doesn't mean we don't know what we're doing.
I'll tell you what I'm doing.
Norman lays an issue of hot classic cars in front of Ted on the bar. On the cover is a picture of a Chester smiling, standing next to a beautiful 1964 red convertible Chevy Corvette. The headline reads, Hollywood's hottest new star next to America's hottest old car.
I drive a motherfucking Honda my sister sold me. You hear what I'm saying? A little motherfucking Honda Civic. You see this shit? Hollywood's new star next to America's hottest old car. Now, you take a good look at this machine that this motherfucker over here is standing next to. That's a 1964 cherry red ragtop Chevy Corvette, and I love that car. More of I love hips, lips, and fingertips. Cut to we sitting here celebrating, getting here high, drinking champagne and
Cristal. When you're drinking anything else, you're drinking champagne. When you're drinking Cristal, you say you're drinking Cristal.
Drinking Cristal, watching TV, rocking New Year's Eve, when all of a sudden we flip on Steve McQueen and Peter Lorre be fucking badass. And I look at this funny motherfucker over here and I say, I'd do that for Chevelle, for the Chevelle.
And Chester replies,
Oh, really?
You guys wouldn't be doing something this stupid unless you were drunk.
Everybody breaks into a hear, hear murmur.
I think that pretty much goes without saying we'd probably chicken out, but when you're fucked up, you don't lie. You tell the fucking truth. And the fucking truth is my lucky Zippo is gonna win me Chester's car.
Why are you doing this?
The thrill of the bet. I'm the one with something to lose here, because I can pretty near guarantee that I love my car more Norman loves his pinky.
How about you guys? You're just going to sit back and let your friends mutilate each other?
why not? Life don't get much more exciting than this. I mean, if Norman was putting his dick on the chopping block, I'd step in, because, in the morning, we'd really regret that. But his pinky, who gives a fuck? I mean, theoretically, he could lose that chopping onions tomorrow. Life still goes on.
How about you?
I don't care.
Which brings us to your part in this little wager.
I don't have a part.
Now, Ted, my old granddad used to say, the less a man makes decorative statements, the less he'd apt to look foolish in retrospect. Now, there are some inherent obstacles in this undertaking. First of all, I'm not some sick fuck like Peter Lorre on that show. Travel in the countryside collecting fingers. We're all buddies here. Nobody wants Norman to lose his finger. We just want to chop it off. So if fate doesn't smile on old Norman, we'll put his finger on ice and rush from the hospital, where in all likelihood be able to sew it back on.
Hopefully.
80%.
Outside.
So Norman's protected. His interests have been looked after. My interests, on the other hand, have not. I am so emotionally attached to my car as Norman's physically attached to his finger. I'm putting up a very expensive piece of machinery on this wager. Now, if I lose, I lose. I have a problem with that. I'm a big boy. I knew what I was doing. However, if I win, I want to win. If Norman lights his lighter 10 times in a row, he's going to have no emotional problems about taking my car keys whatsoever. But if I win, it's so inconceivable that Leo or myself at the last minute might not be able to wield the axe. Which brings us full circle to you, Ted. Sober Ted, clear-eyed Ted. We want you to be the dice man.
Pause as they all look at him. Angela breaks in.
Hell of a night, huh, Ted?
I gotta get out of here.
Ted abruptly gets up and makes a beeline for the door. Chester whips out a $100 bill and quickly calls to Ted from his position at the door.
Ted, I got $100 bill here with your name on it, whether you do what we ask or not, just to sit down in the chair for 1 minute more.
Ted spins in his direction.
I am not cutting off his finger.
Maybe you will, or maybe you won't. But that has nothing to do with this $100 bill in my hand. You could tell us to go fuck off and walk right out the door. But if you sit back down and wait 60 seconds before you do it, you'll be $100 richer.
Ted just stands across the room thinking.
Ted, take the money.
Ted, you're going to do whatever you want to do. We're just asking you to indulge us for another minute more, and Chester's willing to pay for it.
Ted thinks.
Take you out and I sit back down. But a minute from now, I'm going to walk out that door. And when I do we know hard feelings?
Well, I want you to have a bit more of an open mind than that, but yeah. We either convince you or we won't. No hard feelings. Right, guys?
Everybody agrees. Ted wearily sits back down. Chester positions himself in front of Ted at the bar.
Okay, Leo. You be the timekeeper. Let us know when 1 minute begins and when it ends.
You got it. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Chester jumps up and down, loosening up.
Begin.
Chester, who talks fast anyway, starts his pitch. It's Chester's who now plays Beat the Clock.
Okay, pay attention here, Ted. I ain't got much time. Now, I'm going to make 2 piles here on the bar. 1 pile, which is yours, add another pile. Could be yours. Now, what you have to be aware of is where we're going to do this bet. One way or the other. Whether it's you who holds the axe, or the desk clerk downstairs, or some bum we yank off the street. Norman?
You can buy a lot of soup with that pile.
Shh, I'm not closer. How much is on the bar already? I lost count.
600.
600. 600, Ted. Do you know how long it takes the average American to count 600?
No.
1 minute less than it takes to count 700. You know, Ted, a person's life is made up of a zillion little experiences. Some of which have no meaning, are insignificant, and you forget them. And some that stick with you for the rest of your natural life. Barring Alzheimer's, of course. Now, what we're proposing is so unusual, so outside the norm, that I think it would be pretty good guess that this will be one of those experiences that sticks. So since you're going to be stuck remembering this moment for the rest of your life, you got to decide what the memory will be. So are you going to remember for the next 40 years, give or take a decade, how you refused $1,000 for 1 second's worth of work? Or yeah, you made $1,000 for 1 second's worth of work.
Time.
Oh, Ted, what's it going to be?
Ted looks at the pile, then looks up. We dolly onto his face. Flashback, we see a quick montage of horrendous moments from all the other stories. Interior penthouse night, back to Ted.
Okay.
The group cheers.
But when it's over, no matter what happens, I get the money.
As long as you do your part, you can take the pile, walk out that door, and not say a word.
Well, let's do it right now. Before I change my mind.
Here.
Everybody gets in position by the bar. Norman lays his left hand on the block of wood with his pinky sticking out. His right hand is a Zippo lighter poised and ready to strike. Chester hands Ted the meat cleaver. Ted takes it, raises it above Norman's finger in position.
All right, perfect. This is great. This is a moment that none of us will ever forget.
Everybody is crowded around the scene on pins and needles.
Norman, you ready?
Ready.
Ted, you ready?
Ready.
Okie dokie. Norman, begin.
Norman looks hard at the Zippo in his hand. Ted holds the cleaver, stares focused on Norman's pinky. Norman readies himself, places his thumb on the wheel of the Zippo, takes a breath, and strikes. It sparks, but doesn't light. Without missing a beat, Ted brings down the cleaver, slicing off Norman's pinky. Norman lets out a scream. Ted, in one move, lays down the cleaver, scoops up the money, and walks out the door. Interior hallway. After dawn, camera is positioned at the far end of the hallway, looking down at the elevator at the other end. Ted walks out of the penthouse in the FG in a medium shot. In the foreground in a medium shot. He takes the $1,000 in his hand, looks at it, smiles, and sticks in his pocket. It might have been a bad night, but it's been a profitable one. He chuckles at the irony and whistles a happy tune, turns his back on the camera, and walks down the hall to the elevator. All the while, we hear pandemonium breaking out behind the door. As Ted walks to the elevator, the credits roll. He waits for the elevator. It arrives. He gets in. The doors close. As credits continue to roll, we hold for about 2 beats. Then the door bursts open and everyone comes piling out. Everyone's screaming, yelling different things to one another. Norman has a bloody towel wrapped around his hand. He's screaming and crying.
My finger. My fucking finger.
Chester has a bucket of ice with a finger in it. Leo's trying to direct everything. Everybody's in a frantic activity except for Angela, who stands back, drinks her drink, and watches the show. They all run down the hall towards the elevator. Somebody trips, and they all hit the ground. The bucket of ice with the finger goes spilling. They run like crazy, looking for the finger, pick up some ice cubes. Norman lies on the floor and screams. They pick it all up, get to the elevator, and push the button. When it arrives, they all dive in except for Angela.
I'm going to call it a night and go back to my room. It's been fun.
The door closes on the screaming maniacs. Angela walks through the door marked stairway. Interior 4th floor hallway after dawn. Medium stairway door. Credits roll continues. Angela comes through the door. We steady cam in front of her as she walks the hall looking for a room. She finds it. We stop. Credits. 4 rooms. Angela sticks her key in the door, then stops when she sees something approaching. The look on her face combines strange awe and mild shock. Almost floating ethereally, a mysterious blonde bombshell wearing Diana's see-through negligee and slippers, armed with Elspeth's sword slung over her shoulder, wanders towards her. She's in a daze, perhaps lost or drunk.
You okay, lady?
The bombshell looks up at her dizzily.
I said, looking for someone?
Yes. My husband, I think, have you seen him?
Angela and the girl have a strange moment as they connect through the eyes. Having had enough emotional intensity tonight, Angela breaks their eye contact.
Lady, I haven't seen anybody.
Diana quickly says, "Oh," as she drifts on down the hall in a daze. Angela puts her hand to her temples before opening her hotel door. She does a double take in the hallway. Empty. She pauses a beat, then walks into her room. After the door closes, we hear Sigfried on the other side.
Where the hell have you been?
Credits continue to roll.
And that is the wild 4 rooms. With a few little differences there. The ending is a little bit different. But seriously, thank you all so much for watching. This one has been a ton of fun. And well, we'll see you at the next one.